Jessie Woo. Welcome back to my Chanel. If you're new here, make sure that you subscribe. I didn't come alone today. I did not come alone today. I came with a bombshell. A new bombshell has entered the villa. A new bombshell has entered the villa, and she goes by none other than Blue Telusma. Okay, so before we get into everything, you know what? I do got to play my theme song. Hold on, let me play my theme song, child, and then we're gonna get into the getting to, child. Hold on. Is it gonna play, child? Is it gonna play? Okay, it's not gonna play. So you know what? Fuck it. We
Jesse
just gonna go
Woo.
straight.
I feel like I should do it.
Child, I'm on Riverside. I should have did this on StreamYard, but it's cool. I'm on Riverside, child.
VVS, I just turned the water on. Big old flex, shit you never saw before. These niggas chasing me like waterfalls. Keeping on my truck, look like brains.
All right. So without further ado, let me go ahead and introduce y'all to Blue. Blue, introduce yourself to the people. Tell the people how you doing, what you got going on, how they could support you,
Oh, child.
so on and so
Hi.
forth.
Hey, family. I'm back. Okay, it's Blue Telusma. I'm a writer, podcaster, and emotional intelligence coach. I teach people how to have ego death and how to have tools to cultivate self-mastery. And my last workshop of the year is in September. So if you want to join me, go to fall25.eventbrite.com.
Period. Okay. So without further ado, we want to get online and have this conversation with y'all because there is so much to unpack post Love Island, right? We've all seen so many clips of what's going on outside the villa. And there's just so much to talk about with all these podcast interviews and everything that's happening. So I felt like, man, it's what better person to talk about this with other than Blue, my sister, who really, really gets it. There have been a lot of attacks on Shelley, on Olandria by major publications. There have been podcasters who have gone out of their way to throw salt on these two women and their name and their how they carried themselves. And I just feel like there just has to be a conversation around this. So yeah, so thank you so much, Blue, for taking the time out of your day to do this, and thank y'all to who's watching too. How many people we got in the chat, guys? Is anybody watching? Okay, cool. 600 of y'all in here so far. But yeah. So what better person to have this conversation with other than Blue? So Blue, I mean, initially, like, what are your thoughts on everything like that you've seen?
Number one, I'm counting backwards from 100 because I don't want to crash out on live, which would be deeply ironic. I want to first say that the lack of journalistic integrity by major mainstream, i.e., white leaning publications, has been disappointing as heck. And the internal bias has been loud,
Yeah.
right? So you have lowered journalistic integrity and heightened bias. That is a perfect storm for a dumpster fire. And
Yeah.
it is irresponsible what happened with Time Magazine. I took it personal, the Time Magazine thing, which is why I reached out to you, like, Jesse, I need to talk to somebody
Yeah.
who's smart about this because I'm
Yeah.
someone who, you know how there's moments in your career where you're like, oh, I made it. I
Yeah.
remember when I was cited in Time Magazine as a source for an article that they wrote. I was like, oh my God, Time Magazine likes my research. Like, I was excited about seeing
Yeah.
my name in Time, especially when it comes to social commentary. And so for me to see them as like this prestigious like publication, and they posted absolute dribble. And
Yeah.
Joy Parrish, I want to call her out by name. I want to chin check you by name. You should be ashamed of yourself. For those of you who don't know, Joy Parrish is the hack therapist who Time Magazine writer consulted to write the hit piece on these ladies. And Joy Parrish is someone who's supposed to have all these accolades. She has all these letters behind her name, but her lack of cultural competency and her basic inability to analyze things in a way that's emotionally intelligent was disgusting. And I want to point out the word therapy is neutral. We talk about people going to therapy all the time. The word
Yeah.
therapy is like the word boyfriend. There's good boyfriends, there's bad boyfriends.
Yeah.
What Joy Parrish emboldened them to write in that Time Magazine article is a perfect example of a therapist who's gotten all these degrees, but
Yeah.
does not have any cultural competency. I'm disgusted. Yeah,
And
Joy,
for-
I'm
and-
calling you out by name, Joy.
Yeah. And for those of y'all who don't know anything about the Time Magazine piece, I want to pull it up because I posted it immediately and they fucking deleted that shit quickly. But I saved it.
Clark
saved
it.
it. Okay. Clark it. So Time Magazine had a piece. It was called The Most Toxic Communication Habits on Love Island USA Season 7. The first thing they put was reflexive defensiveness. And I just want you guys to see it right here for yourselves. Okay, so it says reflexive defensiveness, right? And it says an immediate habitual tendency to become defensive at the slightest hint of criticism, even when the other person's feedback is valid. It can manifest as a tendency to deny any wrongdoing or responsibility, shift blame, minimize an action's impact, or simply retreat. And when they put this here, they didn't put anybody's name, right? But when you hear that, who does that remind you of? But I just want to stress, they didn't put anybody's name, right? The next one, toxic interruptions. For example, interrupting apologies. Who could forget the time HUDA tried to apologize to Shelly after taking things a step too far in the heart rage challenge? Shelly cut her off mid-sentence, telling her to save it, which prevented closure and heightened the tension whipping around the island. I want y'all to see this for yourselves. This is
And that
not
was a
me.
misquote.
Okay? This was not only a misquote, it never happened.
She
It
never
literally
said
just
save it.
never happened. She never said save it. She literally told HUDA, hey, and I'm paraphrasing, I'm upset right now. Can we please have this conversation in the morning where I'm not upset? I don't want to say anything out of hurt and anger to you. I don't want to say anything out of turn. I just want to for a moment, just take a moment and think about things before I speak. HUDA says, okay, I love you. Shelly says, I love you too, girl. That was their conversation. Shelly never said save it. Never. Like, it literally was a lie. And mind you, again, I want to point out that in the first one, which is very reflective of HUDA's behavior, they never mentioned HUDA's name. But in this one, in the toxic interruption part, where they lie on Shelly, they make sure to name her in the lie.
And then add like a blatant misquote. And by the way, the person who is doing these diagnoses, again, horrible job. What actually happened, if you guys want to, because words mean things, right, Jessica? And I hate when people misapply words that are heavy and require a little bit more nuance. What Shelly actually did was de-escalate.
Literally.
She was not toxically interrupting. She was de-escalating. She was also doing something called gray rocking. Gray rocking is what happens when you are dealing with somebody who's combative and explosive, and rather than further engaging, you intentionally de-escalate by being the calmer voice. So there's lots of words for what Shelly did, but none of it was toxic.
None of it
was
was
an anti-manipulation tactic, not a manipulation tactic.
bingo.
Joy. But what
Bingo.
HUDA did, though, afterwards is called triangulation. When someone is trying to have a reasonable exchange with you and you don't like a reasonable exchange, you triangulate by going to other people. HUDA immediately went to other people. I tried to talk to Shelly, but Shelly wouldn't talk to me. She was triangulating the other
Which
cast
was
members.
a lie. Which was a lie.
Yeah. So where's triangulation on your little list, right? Y'all want to be throwing out words out here, but don't know the most pedestrian level understanding of these words. And by the way,
Literally.
these words are only toxic if you assume that all Black women are aggressive and mean and rude and unreasonable.
Hello.
If you come in with that assumption, then these words suddenly make sense. It's the only way these words make sense.
And that's what makes this racist.
Yep.
That's what makes it racist, because at the end of the day, that is how Black women are viewed. When you watch the show, literally you had Huda who called everybody every name under the sun,
You
slamming
bitch.
things. Like we saw her coerce someone into trying to have into trying to have sex with her. Like she did all these things, but she doesn't have any of these labels at all. She's able to escape all that scot free. But in the like in the two moments, the one moment you saw Shelly say, "Wait a minute, no, no. All this time we've been in here, you have been requiring certain things from all of us. You're not doing what you're requiring. You have overstepped boundaries." Or when you have one moment with Olandria where she loses her cool, they immediately are aggressive, mean girls, nasty, like had mass unfollowings. You had the hood rats, which by the way, the hood rats want to hijack the word hood rat and make it into a racial term. Hood rat is not a racial term.
Rat is a Palestinian term. Hood rat is a Black term. Can we not play Oppression Olympics right now?
Please.
Hood rat is a colloquial term, and it's part of AAVE. It has nothing to do with Palestinians. Can we not do that?
Please. Please. Go play with y'all mama. Don't play with me. I be seeing y'all in my mentions. It's like, listen, unless you're gonna come up to me and cut my tongue out or cut my fingers off, hood rat is going to stay in my vocabulary. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Go play them games with y'all mamas, not me, okay? But yeah, she gets to escape from all those terms. Meanwhile, Love Island is over. Love Island is over. But because the show was edited in a way where we never got to see Olandria mothering these girls.
Yeah.
The way like all these clips are coming out of Olandria hugged up with Huda. And they're saying, oh, that's how we were our entire time in the villa. You have Amaya in her interview with Alex Cooper saying, let me play the clip, saying how, oh, Olandria was there for me when I was crying. She always gave me sound advice. We never got to see that. Shelly said she cried the most in the villa.
Right. Shelly said that shocked me.
We never got to see that, right? So because these women were edited, these Black women were edited to look very, what's a good word? Very
hard and stoic.
Yeah. I was gonna say stoic. Very stoic, very, it makes it even easier for people to believe, on top of the fact that they're Black, it makes it easier for people to believe that they had no heart, they had no soul, they were just cold ass bitches who were just mean girls. And that's just
Chris is
not
stoic,
the
we
truth.
like it though. When Chris is stoic, it's great. But when Shelly's stoic, she's a bully ass bitch.
When Iris was stoic, what did Iris give us?
Let me tell you, the only thing Iris gave me an example that y'all are on some BS when it comes to HUDA, because we keep on talking about this thing of Olandria. The worst thing Olandria could have done was telling people that HUDA kissed Chris before HUDA had a chance to. HUDA stood in front of everybody when Jeremiah picked Iris and said her vagina stink. He said she ugly. He said he don't like her. He said she looks 67 with one gray tooth. She went in. It was like Ether from Nas was playing in the background while she just told Iris, this man thinks you smell.
Yeah.
Nobody said anything about her talking about talk to Jeremiah.
Nobody.
But Olandria said, are you going to tell Shelly that you kissed the man that you said that you were bringing in here for her?
Yeah.
Oh my God, you're going to hell. Beelzebub, you bad wench. Wait, what?
Right. Literally. I want to play this clip.
Me and Olandria have a great friendship. I remember like when the whole Ace Babe situation happened, I really did isolate myself. I was spending the whole day like crying. And she was really one of the main girls, just consoling in me and also making sure that my feelings were validated and I wasn't being like too much, So I would definitely say her. We're closest with.
So the real Mamacita, the real Mamacita was Olandria the entire time.
Yep.
And we never got to see that.
But here's the
and we
thing, though.
never got to
Huda
see
was
that.
her baby, and actually, people think that Huda. Everybody keeps posting. Well, Huda and Olandria, if they're closer than you think, then why are y'all so concerned about her being all up underneath Nick and Olandria now? You guys don't understand. You only see 10 minutes. X, Y, and. First of all, everything you just said is irrelevant to the concern. The concern is not about
Literally.
the nature of the relationship; it's the nature of Huda's character. It's the first thing. Also, all you guys are doing is proving that we are right. That Huda likes to fetishize black men and mammify black women. You're making our point for us. Of course, Orlandria was her goddamn mammy. That's part of the problem. Thank you for helping me make more sense.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Thank you. And mind you, Olandria, the girl who she made her mammy, was the girl that she was ready to turn the whole villa against because, oh my God, but you said that to me. Why did you say it to me in private? Why did you say it to me in private? You literally activated your white woman tears against your mammy.
Yep.
Against your mammy in the villa.
Because how dare you not
So
censor me?
see how
Mammy
see how 1 minute you'll be up under her while
Yep.
she mammies you, but the minute you can turn on her and have other people turn on her, you'll do it. Clark it.
Yeah.
Clark it. Clark it. Let's have that conversation. Let's have that conversation. So yeah, what else did I want to point out too? Sorry, hold on. Some people were saying something. Oh, people were saying Clark it.
Okay.
Someone said it's obvious she fetishized. Sorry, Viall mine. It's obvious she's fetishized black men. That's why she's doing all these surgeries to look.
Her original face is where?
Let me tell you something. When her sisters came in the villa with their
Her old
original
face?
faces,
I have a question, Jessica. If you had a sister who looked just like you and you are now her walking before picture, would you feel a way about that?
hell yeah. And I do have a sister who looks just like me. Well, I wouldn't say she looks exactly like me,
Okay.
but she's my younger sister, but we both look like my mom. Like
Okay,
we
got it.
both look like people will see my mom and think, "Oh my God, you look like your mom." Then they'll see her and be like, "Oh, she looks like your mom." Like, you know what I mean? And so, yeah, if she went off and just got a whole other face, yeah, I would feel like. And don't get it twisted. Here's the thing, like, I don't think there's anything wrong with, tweaking here, tweaking there, but it's like when you literally don't look the same anymore, and then all your actions are so anti-black, like you get all these ethnic features, and then but all your actions are so anti-black, that's where it throws me for a loop. It just throws me for a loop. Like, okay, so what is the truth?
The truth is she wants to be Kim Kardashian. Everything from the surgeries to the black men as accessories. She grew up in the Kardashian era. Can we be honest? The Kardashians are the face of the 2010s. That's the exact same time that Huda was becoming a young woman.
That's so
So
true.
she had surgery to become a Kardashian, including the fetishizing of black men while having black female besties. Unfortunately for her, it wasn't Malika and them when she got to the island, because it turns out there was two other dark-skinned Beyoncés on the island who were not there to be her sidekicks. They had main character energy, and it foiled her plan.
Hello.
I'm
Hello.
real.
Come on with it. So we talked about the Time magazine. We talked about, I know you've talked a little bit too about like Sierra, because Sierra did share her apology. Blue do not want to hear about Sierra. I think both of us have different views when it comes to Sierra. We have different views.
It's just, I've dated a lot of Libras, so maybe I have a Libra radar. The stench of
I don't like
inauthenticity.
Libras.
I like the ones who've gone to therapy, but the stench of inauthenticity is like vapor when it comes to Sierra. My eyes are watering. She's so inauthentic. I'm concerned for anyone who thinks she is authentic. Mm-hmm. It's so blatant to me. And so for me, I'm not mad about the racial slur thing, because she actually did the actual apology that we all say that we want, whether we believe it or not. She actually did what she was supposed to do. And I don't believe in being punitive for the sake of being punitive.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be having the strong reaction. It's her character. It's the same problem that I have with Chris and Huda for different reasons. It's your character. It's the way you act that I don't fuck with.
Yeah.
Sierra has very poor character, and she's very put on, and she's media trained to the point of feeling like a robot, and she's going to always say what sounds good, not what she actually means. But what she means reveals itself when her mask falls off. When Amaya was announced as America's sweetheart, Sierra's the only person who moved her seat to sit next to her. There's video of before
That's
they made
true.
the announcements, it was her and her girls, it was all the Casa girls, and then it was Amaya and somebody else by herself as a leper. Amaya literally was sitting in the leftovers section, to use Nick Viall's problematic language. So Amaya's in the fucking bleachers, right? The
Yep.
minute Amaya is announced as America's favorite, look at the footage. She moved. She's the only person who changed
Yeah.
rows. She goes to the nosebleeds to sit next to Amaya. That's why I don't mess with Sierra. She is always Clarking it. She is always
Yeah.
calculating.
Yeah.
And anybody who knows an unevolved Libra knows exactly what I'm talking about,
Oh,
including
I
other
can't do
Libras.
Libras. I can't. Wait. Who else is a Libra?
I said, I'm saying even other Libras
Oh,
clock
yeah.
in their own kind. It's
Oh, yeah.
You know it when you see it, babes.
Yeah. I
Wearing the
cannot.
empathy shirt during the apology while wearing a jade necklace. Oh, come on, bruh. Are you serious? It's like wearing a sombrero on Cinco de Mayo. You can't even apologize without being, girl. What in the party city? She went to the I'm Sorry Asia like starter pack. Are you
Hey, here was my only thing with the whole thing, right? Which was when she did her apology video, I reposted it and I said, what's disturbing to me was that she provided video of the actual DM interaction. And so that told me that everything else that we saw with all those other responses, all those other responses was doctored. It wasn't real. Like people were literally doctoring screenshots to make it seem as if when she was told, "Hey girl, hey, we don't use that word," what they made it seem like she was like, oh, "Okay, well, thank God I didn't use it," like they made it seem like she was dismissive of that. I didn't like that. I thought that was very disturbing, and I think
agree with that.
I think that hit me hard because I know what it's like for somebody to go online and be like, "Well, Jessie Woo," and it's like I've never even met this person. Like I've had instances where literally somebody would go online, "Oh, it was so difficult." Mind you, it's usually a Haitian from the HMI community, never somebody who's reputable. "Oh, Jessie Woo did this and Jessie Woo," and it's like you can't even prove I've ever had an interaction with you. You don't have my number. We've never been in the same building together. You tried to book me. It didn't work out because you were unprofessional. You couldn't afford a hotel room. You know what I mean?
Ooh.
But niggas will go online and say they had an interaction with you and it was a lie. But the thing is, there are people who are ready to believe it.
Absolutely.
That's what I didn't like about the whole Sierra thing. It was like somebody can easily go online and say, "Hey, Blue said this," and provide a screenshot. And people will believe it. It happens all the time. And so when she put the video, that was disturbing to me because I was like, wait a minute. So that girl did not respond in that way. And she actually did respond. She actually did apologize back then. And then another thing that disturbed me was, okay, so y'all are calling this girl a racist, but y'all call ICE on her family. So
that's
who's
disgusting.
racist?
That's disgusting.
Who's racist now? Like, and then it was when I put that up, people were in the comments, "Oh my God, y'all gonna defend. People are extremely illiterate. That's not me defending her. But people suffer from severe illiteracy. That's me adding nuance to the conversation. The girl was lied on. Simply put, yes, she used the word. Yes, she used the word. But she was lied on, and y'all called ICE on her family. That's not racism to y'all?
That's at least xenophobia at the very, very least. What's tricky is that because human beings are fallible, I think anytime you act like any of the characters are all good or all bad, you've immediately lost me because everybody's flawed in figuring it out. So my issue isn't with people being flawed, it's with the inequitable distribution of grace, right?
Yeah.
It's a perfect
Yes.
example. I hated the fact that Sierra left the way she left because of one thing. You ever have an argument with somebody and somebody's on your side? You're like, "Yeah, we agree," and then they start arguing. You're like, "Oh no, we ended up the same place, but you got there differently. Like, don't talk for me anymore." That's how I
Right.
feel about the anti-Sierra crowd. I don't fuck
Yeah.
with her, but not for the stupid reason that y'all making up, right?
No, right.
Not for that. It's almost like OJ when he got away with alleged murder, but then got hemmed up for memorabilia.
Right.
That's
Right.
how I feel about Sierra. Sierra had actual
Exactly.
crimes, and y'all went and like crucified her for the one thing that I actually would have given her some grace on.
Literally.
It's really awkward for
Literally.
me. I'm like, damn, I agree that she sucks, but not for that. Like, ooh,
Not for
y'all
that.
were close. Not that.
Same. I felt the same way. Going back to people easily lying on folks, I want to show you this. This came on my timeline. I hope it plays back, but hold on, let me see.
Which liars
Because
gonna pop up? I'm
sometimes,
excited.
because sometimes this will act a fool.
Who's the real mean girls on the show? Because after ganging up on Huda Mustafa, the internet's finally realized that the real villains of the show are probably Sierra, Chelly, and Olandria.
I don't know about you guys, but they were like my top 3, and the way they fell to my bottom 3 is wild.
You see, Huda Mustafa was the show's most hated at first, since she was labeled as a problematic manipulator. However, as people continue to watch the show, they notice that the issues being thrown at Huda are nothing compared to what Sierra, Chelly, and Olandria have been doing to her. Turns out, then Huda's biggest bullies on the show, and they've allegedly been teaming up to make her look even worse. And it all started when Huda kicked a guy that was previously linked to Chelly. Chelly got super outraged to the point that she said a really hurtful message to her.
To HUDA from Shelly. If you're going to preach about being a girl's girl, you should practice what you preach.
But before you think Huda deserved this for not being a girl's girl, well, it actually was revealed that the kid was just part of the challenge that the show orchestrated. And on top of that, people are saying Chelly's reaction is even valid, because she's already up with a new guy, so there's really no point in her getting upset by that kid.
Chelly, you have no reason to be mad at HUDA right now. Do not make me get on Beyonce's internet to defend HUDA of all people, okay? It was a challenge. She was doing what she's supposed to do in a challenge.
But you're probably wondering now how Sierra and Olandria got dragged into this mess. Well, believe it or not,
The concubines in the
Chelly was busy confronting Huda. Sierra, on the other side, was smirking and laughing, as if she was happy that Huda was being shamed on national TV. Actually, it didn't seem like a big deal at first, but people noticed this wasn't the first time she made faces while talking about Huda.
HUDA raises the most? Yeah, raises the most. Ooh.
See, people are really shocked to see this kind of reaction because Sierra, along with Chelly and Olandria, was supposed to be Huda's close friends on the show.
What's so about it? What's so shocking about that? Hot take, but Sierra might have pissed me off more than Shelly did last night.
But here's where it gets worse. Since everyone's seemingly attacking Huda, the internet thought Olandria would at least comfort her, given that she's also her friend. However, not only did she leave Huda at her lowest point, but people also discovered that she was actually the one who told Chelly about the kiss.
Touch hurt, Olandria. It made me feel like I had nobody in here.
See, the attack, the betrayal from her so-called friends have really made everyone side with Huda, so much that she gained millions of followers overnight, while those 3 continue to lose thousands of supporters every day.
This has caused Shelly to see a decrease in followers as well. Even Olandria has lost about 50,000 followers following her confrontation with HUDA.
But here's what shocked fans even more. While Huda looked like the victim here, she
This takes it from
was still the one who...
I mean, enough is enough. But literally, this is how the show is being talked about in other communities. Mind you, this is a huge platform. This is on Snapchat. So, you know, when you log into Snapchat, they be having all those advertisements. This showed up on this girl's Snapchat advertisements, and she put it on Threads. I couldn't believe it when I watched it.
That was irresponsible.
Yeah.
That
It
piece
is
was
so
irresponsible.
just lie after lie after lie after lie, which is why like during Black Women's Love Island Black Women's Month, people like me will have to come to the internet and do this because these girls are like Black women. It's so easy to lie on Black women. It is just so easy to lie on Black women that you have to come and do this like constantly.
I agree.
Because people will do it with their internet platforms. These publications will do it with their platforms. It's just so bad. It's
You know
so
what though?
bad.
I actually think it's worse than them lying. I was just talking to a friend about this the other night. I'm working under the assumption that I'm talking to intelligent people who are intentionally choosing to lie. I now realize I'm talking to people who are stupid and racist. They're not lying. They're just too stupid to know it's not true. That's scarier to me than them lying. At least if you're lying, we're
Yeah.
both in on the joke and you just have poor character. I
Yeah.
think people are really just racist and dumb.
Yeah,
That's much
Just
scarier
racist.
to me.
just racist.
You're so stupid that this actually is the truth to you. Ooh, bonjour.
So racist. So racist. Okay, let's talk about some of these podcasts. So I got some clips from the Nick Viall podcast with Taylor
Boo.
and
I can't stand that man.
Sam.
Boo. He's Andrew Schultz light. Like he's like Andrew Schultz's leftovers. When when the devil made Andrew Schultz, he left a little bit left over for Nick Viall.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were booing Taylor. Oh yes. Oh, boo Nick Viall. Oh yes.
Boo.
Oh, boo Nick
No,
Viall.
it's just a soft stud from DC.
Yeah, Taylor.
Let her live,
Yeah.
child.
Yeah. Oh, Nick Viall is
Boo.
a vile human being. Like
His
I
last
really
name is
think
perfect.
perfect. He is a vile human being, and when you watch his interviews, especially like if you've never watched his interviews before, actually don't. Just don't. It honestly, it will kill your brain cells because this man he's not a good interviewer at all. Like he is so long-winded and feels the need to center himself in every question that he throws at the person sitting across from him. So Love Island, so when you did Love Island, like what was the experience like? Because, when I did The Bachelor, they did A, B, C, and D, and I did da-da-da-da-da, and when we did and they fed us this, and so what did they feed you? Because when I did like, that's literally how he asked questions. It's like,
Tyra
bitch,
Banks. He's a podcast bro version of Tyra Banks. Remember when Tyra Banks had that? Oh yeah, she would wear a fat suit and then cry to actual fat people about the 5 hours that she was fat, and they'd be consoling her like, "Oh, it's okay. You had a rough afternoon. I'm 600 pounds, but you had a rough afternoon, supermodel." And I just be like, Tyra, how you get in it?
Right.
He reminds me of watch old Tyra Banks clips. She centers herself at all times, my guy.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, he does. He absolutely sucks. But anyway, so Taylor was on the show, right? So first and foremost, I did not like this right here. I want to play you this clip.
I think I know exactly what you're about to play.
Hold on. Let me share the screen.
OLANDRIA.
What do you mean by believe, Nicola?
It's a relationship that a lot of fans online just decided that they saw a lot of connections between Nick and OLANDRIA when you and OLANDRIA were coupled up and when Nick and Sierra were coupled up. And it was like a movement that like people were just like, I don't know. We just decided they're obsessed with each other. That's what we mean.
Nick was one of OLANDRIA's picks day one. It was definitely like physical attraction there between both of them. Me and Nick spoke about it, and Nick asked me like, "Yo, do you care if I explore OLANDRIA?" And I was like, "No, like go ahead." So he went to explore her. They kissed. He came back and told me he was like, like ain't nothing there. Like we tried it and nothing's there. I was like, okay, cool. But I think that was because at the time Sierra was still in his head, and for OLANDRIA, maybe I was still in her head. And then when they got coupled up the last time after Sierra left, me and Nick had conversations about their connection or whatever. And he was like, right now there's nothing romantic with our connection, but he's giving it a chance and seeing if it's growing. And then I left the villa, so I had no more update after we had that conversation. But from the looks of it, like after me leaving, it looks like there is something romantic there.
They at least seem to be open to trying it out.
Yeah.
Do you believe Nick OLANDRIA?
What do you mean?
I mean, there's way more to the interview, but first and foremost, Taylor in another interview said that Nick had told him, like from the beginning of the experience, Nick had expressed to him that he wanted OLANDRIA. And in that conversation, the way he told it, it really gave that Taylor was not, he didn't really encourage it at first because he was with OLANDRIA. And so because he didn't encourage it at first, then Nick was, okay, he had Sierra, he had Bella. So he's like, all right, well, I'm just going to do me, right? It wasn't until when they both returned to the villa and Taylor was with Clark that Taylor finally told Nick, yeah, go ahead and express her. But my problem is, and I have a couple more clips because I'm going to get to the Nick, where Nick sits down with them two white chicks in that office, and their line of questioning is very similar. But the whole do you believe Nicolandria? It's kind of like these white folks cannot fathom in their mind that Nick really wants Olandria, right? But they hide behind the whole thing of, oh, but he was with Sierra first. This shit happens this is Love Island. People swap couples. People, 1 minute you are in one couple that you're really, really good with, and then the next minute you're not. It happens all the time, and y'all don't have a problem with it. Y'all are literally sitting across from Taylor and Clark. Taylor was with Olandria for how long? Clark comes in, he's done with Olandria. He did the same thing Nick did. But y'all can believe y'all can believe Taylor with Clark, but you cannot believe Nick and Olandria. I want to get your thoughts on that.
I will say this, and I love how you broke that down, because I want us all to get into the habit of translating things to what people
Wait,
are
hold on. Somebody else brought it up too. Hold on. I'm sorry. Keep your thought. Somebody said, look at Pepe. Look at Pepe. Nobody's asking. There's no clips anywhere of anybody asking Pepe, you know, people don't believe you and Iris, or people don't believe you and what was the girl after Hannah? Grayson. People don't believe that. He's never getting that line of questioning ever. But people just cannot believe Nick and Olandria. Go ahead.
Well, the fact that Pepe is probably the biggest hoe on the island and nobody's child, those white women, divorcee looking girls, if it looks like a soccer mom with blonde hair, Pepe's gonna smash it. The question that they're really asking, the next time you guys hear
if
this
it's a
question,
white widow.
Pepe's is at the funeral home waiting for his next cougar. So the question that they're actually asking when they say, do you believe Nicolandria, is do you believe this conventionally attractive white model with options would pick a jigaboo as not his last resort? That's what they're actually asking. Because the thing is, women like Olandria are supposed to be the last option, not your first option. It's unnatural in the eyes of the hierarchy of desirability. She's supposed to be at the bottom of the food chain, despite looking like a literal Barbie doll, because she's a jigaboo. He's supposed to be the one with all the options. So it's unnatural in the minds of white people and black people who hate black people and themselves, because a lot of Olandria's biggest haters look like her cousins. It's unnatural that the person with all the options would willingly pick the last resort. That's what they're really asking is, why is he ignoring his options? That's what they're actually asking. Because a black man choosing a light-skinned black girl, normal. But a white model with the pick of the litter, even Iris was trying to get away from Pepe to look at Nick. Yeah. The fact that the man who is the most wanted as a white man, because black people like him and white girls like him too, why would he pick her?
Clark it.
If we're going to ask the question, ask the real fucking question. Sorry. Ask the real question, y'all. The real question is, how dare you choose her? She's unchoosable.
Literally.
Y'all so racist. Ugh.
Also, they just cannot believe that a black woman who looks like Olandria too, and not just Olandria, but even with Shelly, I feel like I've even seen there was one clip. I don't know what I did with this clip, but it was also from the Nick Viall podcast, where he was sitting down with these other girls from Vanderpump Rules. So I think it was Ariana's best friend. I don't remember her name, but if somebody has the clip, please put it in the chat. But she was telling, was it Katie?
Brown hair?
I believe so. But she was saying how, I'm still trying to find the clip, but she was saying how, when Olandria got upset, that was the real her. Because like for the longest, her posture, like, you know, her demeanor, it just was so fake. But when she lost her cool, that was the real her. And I'm like, oh my God. So they don't even believe that black women can be poised.
No.
They don't even believe that black women can be poised, have class, speak, you know, take their time to speak, hold their peace. Clock that. They don't even believe that. Yeah. Which is why, too, if we can clock something else while we're clocking stuff, which is why, too, and this is no shade to Amaya, this is no shade to Amaya, but what I'm about to say involves Amaya.
You already know what I'm thinking. Go ahead.
The other reason why Olandria and Shelly ain't y'all faves is because they didn't come into the villa neck rolling and mispronouncing words and giving you regurgitating AAVE isms. Like, that's why they're not your faves. Let's just be honest. They didn't come in giving you the ghetto dream that y'all were expecting from them. That's why they're not your faves. That's why also we want to keep
Jessie.
They're not
A black woman who is poised is not marketable, because had they come in acting like Sexy Red, we could work with that. Had they come in,
of course.
Here's the thing: last year, the Powerpuff Girls. I hate to say this, but Olandria and Shelly made me realize the reason the Powerpuff Girls worked last year was because Serena and Janae had just enough of the buffoonery that we need. They had just enough
to
of
carry them over.
Right, to carry them over. They were a hybrid of half hey girl hey and half poise. They can do a hybrid. You can be a bougie girl who bursts into tears all the time like Janae, or somebody like Serena who has healthy boundaries but might pop off and throw things around like Serena, right? But how dare you be this self-possessed for this long? We can't market it. We can't have like Clark it. We can't have marketable things. I actually think what's funny is the audience likes a black woman who they can judge while clapping for. They like to clap with you while clapping at you, but laugh at you, right? We can laugh at Amaya. Her buffoonery, and I'm using that word intentionally, not as a judgment. There's a certain level of low-level buffoonery that we need from black and brown women. It makes you non-threatening, because even if you do something that makes me confront my racial bias, I can point out how illiterate you are, or I can be shocked that you're a nurse because you can't pronounce words. I need something to still feel superior. White audiences only clap when they can still maintain their superiority. But for you to have that body and that poise and be pulling all the dudes without even trying, how fucking dare you? That belongs to white women.
Yep.
It's the same reason they hate Meghan Markle, ironically. We're talking about the dark-skinned black woman thing, but I think the reason why Americans hate Olandria and Shelly is the exact same reason why the monarchy hates Meghan Markle. If there's any drop of black womanhood in you, you have to have something apologetic about you to make you palatable.
Yep. Or you got to give them that buffoonery. You got to...
God forbid I went to therapy and have a good relationship with my mother and could talk about my feelings without screaming.
My God. My God. My God, like, it's just...
And Amaya plays that up, by the way. I keep on saying this in my last video, that Amaya is the HUDA that succeeded. Because Amaya and HUDA are exactly alike, except for one thing. When you tell Amaya she's made a mistake, she will sincerely apologize, course correct, and never do it again. When you tell HUDA she's made a mistake, she'll just find a new way to manipulate you. But if she looks at them as a breakdown, they're the same person. No emotional regulation. If you say anything to them, they start yelling and screaming, start crying when the yelling and screaming doesn't work, and then they attack your character, right? Amaya and HUDA being friends makes all the sense in the word. It's good cop, bad cop. I can work with the Amayas of the world because Amaya shows that she can improve. HUDA is committed to being wrong.
Committed
to it.
Committed. There was another clip too. Hold on.
All this racism. Y'all don't get tired. Y'all are not getting indigestion.
Oh, here's another thing. Oh, this was the rest of it too. Hold on. Let me share the screen.
And Jessie, you're supposed to be making me stay calm. You're making it worse.
I want you to stay calm.
I'm trying my best for
you. Going, and then I left the villa, so I had no more update after we had that conversation. But from the looks of it, like after me leaving, it looks like, you know, there is something romantic there.
They at least seem to be open to trying it out.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys are the antithesis of this, because you guys did you, regardless of what people thought. And again, mad respect, because it's not easy to do that. But do you at least acknowledge it, or do you think no one in the villa feels pressure by what they think fans think and feel? And do you feel like that affected people's moves? And even if like Nick and Olandria are like, you know what, fuck it. Like if the fans want us to give us a shot, like there's mutual respect, there's a foundation of friendship. Maybe they are just giving it a shot because they even their families are like, you think you guys should date. Do you feel like there's pressure there for cast to try to explore that, given outside influence?
In the villa, we don't have any access to the outside world, so we don't know what is going on in the outside world. So I wouldn't say like, their input is affecting our decisions because we don't even know what's going on.
Okay. Do you guys?
That answer was not good for him.
He's so disappointed.
He wanted Taylor so bad to say production told Nick and Alandra to do this because there's just no way that Nick could like her.
Yeah.
There's just no way that Nick could like her. Literally, he was looking for Taylor to do that. Somebody said the question long as fuck. I told y'all that that's how he interviews. He's a horrible interviewer.
But can we be honest though that it's kind of our fault that Nick was surprised, because let's keep it a buck. Let's clock ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
There is a long history, especially in the industry, of black men bonding with white men over talking shit about black women. White men have been taught by our men that they're allowed to talk crazy about us in their
And so have white women. Let's just be honest. White people,
So
period.
they're so used to our men disparaging us in their presence. They're always stunned when our men have our back. Like, oh, I thought we agreed that these black bitches don't deserve nothing. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
So when he was surprised, I actually think the surprise was sincere. It wasn't a Sierra. I think he is used to being in spaces where he's talking to NBA players, reality stars, because we know that it's hard to find a black reality star who likes black women. He's used to being in spaces with black men where he just says a word and they go off on us. So he was sincerely surprised that this black man who got rejected and embarrassed by a jigaboo, and I'm going to keep using that word because that's what they're actually thinking, and is sitting next to a light-skinned girl who should be his prize, didn't take the obvious opportunity to do what we always do when the cameras are off.
Yep.
That's why Nick was surprised. So I'm not standing up for Nick, but I get why he was surprised.
Yeah. Yeah. He's used to black men assisting him in the degradation of black women. It is what it is.
They cannibalize us for white approval all the time. So we can't be like, oh, how dare he? Child, y'all know how y'all talk when the cameras are off.
Yeah. Let's go to Nick with them two white chicks in the office.
Is that their official name? Is that their official name, Jessica?
First of all, they're represented by Barstool Sports.
Oh, that's why they're getting all these first looks.
That is literally. Yeah. That should tell you two things. And I'm going to let y'all clock those two things. But they are represented by Barstool Sports, okay? Call Her Daddy came from Barstool Sports, which is why you see, okay? But the comment under them two white chicks in the office, literally, so many people said the same thing. There was one comment that I had to screenshot. The lady said, only watch this in support of Nick and Alandria, but the underlying tone of these questions and the absence of questions about how he feels about his lady were certainly felt. Clark,
I wrote notes on this.
Okay. But before I go into the Nick interview with them two white chicks in the office, I want to play this last clip with Taylor talking about, you know what? No, I'll come back to the Taylor one. I'll come back. But when you watch the them two white chicks in the office interview, first and foremost, immediately Nick goes in there and he says Olandria's name. Like, I don't know what they asked him. They asked him, you look tired or something like that. He was like, yeah, I'm in this mommy's little meatballs shirt. I'm gonna need Olandria to help me with my wardrobe. And the way he was looking at them, I felt like he had seen or somebody had sent clips or he's seen what these girls had been saying, because they too, while reviewing the show, could not fathom Nick wanting Olandria. They just could not fathom that at all.
They started the interview with Nick at 38 minutes. This is where my autism comes in handy, because I like timestamps. The interview started at 38:00. Nick, they said to him, "Oh, Nick, you're wearing the meatball shirt because you said you only have 6 t-shirts." He's like, "Yeah, I only have 6 t-shirts." And at 39 seconds in, he says, "I'm gonna have to ask Alandria to help me go shopping." Yep. He could not even make it to a full minute. I got a girl, right?
Yep.
You know we together, right? 39 seconds. Get you a man who can't go 39 seconds without mentioning your name in the midst of your enemies.
Period.
Let me tell you about Nick. Like, he's a YN from Florida in my mind. That's how I see him as a YN from Florida. If you watch the videos, you are very clear why. The Cuban
Duval.
links have been linking.
That is a white man from Duval. Duval, a whole white W. We ain't gonna call him a YN during Black Women's Month.
I think he a YN friend. I think you might think that, but he don't know that. other YNs are like, calm down, nigga. Like,
right. Nick is a whole YN, okay?
Yeah, he's not mayonnaise. He's aioli. He's a little spicy.
No. He's oh my god, he definitely got some spice to him. But they were just asking him just a series of questions. Let me see if I can find.
They said, "Did you feel pressured from outside?" Nick said, "No."
That's the clip. That's the clip I want everybody to see. That's the exact clip. Because I want to piggyback on what they were just asking Taylor. So hold on.
And shout out to Clark. Give us nothing, sis. Yes, just stare at the wall. Just give us nothing.
That wasn't the clip I was looking for, but I did think that this was a good clip because they kept asking him about Sierra, like the way they kept asking her a lot. Yeah, they mentioned her a lot. What did you think about that?
I think it goes back to that. And here's the thing. I do think subconscious bias is something that we have to be intentional about using that language, because a lot of people sincerely don't know they're doing it, why they're doing it, right? They sincerely think that they're being logical, and they don't realize that they're operating from a hierarchy and conditioning about who's desirable and who's not. And so in their mind, Sierra and Nick made more sense. They even mentioned Beldasha.
Yeah.
So you know shit is bad. So in their mind, Beldasha and Sierra made so much more sense. I even put it in the notes. Nick had a 20-minute interview. It took him 15 minutes of always bringing it back to Olandria before they finally gave up and asked the most obvious question. So what's next with you and Olandria? It took 15 minutes of him standing 10 toes down, defending his girl, before they were like, you could literally see it in her face. She was like, oh shit, he really like her. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I guess. So what y'all about to do next? You going to Alabama? What y'all doing? At one point, they said, we forgot about your earlier interest in Olandria. This is how they conceded. When 15 minutes went by, they finally said, well, now that you mention it, we forgot that you did kind of like her on day one, but it was just so early. So it's not that we were racist and didn't think you didn't want to jigaboo. It's just that it's been so long. And Nick just up there smiling like, yeah. And then they were like, well, are you guys official? Like, what's happening? He's like, well, we just got together not too long ago, but we do all the things that lovers do, honey. Okay?
Literally.
We do all the things that boyfriends and girlfriends do. And I like her very much.
I have that clip.
He loved that girl, child.
Yeah.
He'll eat her foot again.
Okay? Put his whole foot. I have that clip. Hold on.
In his mouth.
Comfortable for us. And so we're not labeling.
He let that girl down. Yeah. He let that girl down. Just the grin on his fucking face. The grin on his face. But this is what I wanted to share too. Remember how Nick Viall was asking...
Wrong Nick. Go ahead.
When Nick Viall was asking Taylor, but basically, did production tell y'all? Here are these two white chicks in that damn office asking Nick the same thing. Look at this. For context, he didn't read America's Thoughts until the final date.
Yeah.
For context. So the way they position it, it's like they're trying to position it in a way that they were getting America's thoughts throughout the experience. And like you heard Taylor say, we don't hear nothing. We don't get nothing. Producers don't tell us nothing. Just want to make that clear. Said it was a layup.
That boy good.
He's good.
Jessica, the question they asked him that I loved was, because Nick has very loud body language, and body language is 90% of communication, right? And they said, have you seen all those clips of how you acted with Sierra versus how you acted with Olandria? Now, because he was doing such a great media trained job of staying in the middle, I thought he was going to say, oh, you guys are reading too much into it. What he actually said was, you know what? Now that I watched them back, you guys might be onto something. And then throughout the interview, we mentioned every time he mentions Olandria, subconsciously he starts to smile. He opens up.
Yes.
So we're talking about subconscious bias. Let's also talk about subconscious affirmation. He likes that girl so much that even when he's not thinking about what he's doing, his entire body opens up at the mere mention of her name.
Mm-hmm.
And we still are pretending that we don't believe it because it's outside pressure, even though he didn't find out until day 77. 1 + 1 = racism.
These white women, these white men, just like the anti-blackness in our community, they just cannot fathom.
Yeah.
They cannot fathom that Nick really likes and or even might love Olandria. They just cannot fathom that. And then she's dark. You're with a
How dare
darkie?
you? She's not
How
even a
dare
paper bag
you?
approved. How dare you?
You're with a dark woman, a dark skin. Mind you, if you are a black woman, if you're a dark skinned woman at that, and let me give you an example. As a dark skinned woman who used to work in corporate America, them white men love us.
They do.
They love us. If you've ever been in an office setting and in a predominantly white corporate space, your biggest op is white women. Your biggest cheerleaders are white men.
Yeah.
I'm
Very
lying?
weird. No, you're not lying.
It's like this, I don't know if you would call it weird or interesting. It's fascinating to me.
They're fascinated with us.
They're fascinated. And no, you don't gotta, the white women, if you start, they love that. They love that. But the white men, you give them a good conversation, bitch, they are on your ass. They can talk to you. They're on your ass. They're coming to you. They're confiding in you. They're giving you career advice.
Yep.
They're chivalrous. They're coming in. Oh, I noticed you like a whole grain bagel. I got you one. That used to be my experience with white men in the corporate world. White women, though, the minute the white women saw that they couldn't put their foot on me, they were done with me. They were done with me. But the white man, it was, oh, here's a ladder. Let me help you climb. Oh, you can't reach that? Let me help you climb that. Literally, that was the dynamic.
And this is something that this is tricky. It's tricky because white men at the top of the food chain, they have it to give. There's nobody above them. So they don't have to compete. So they're working from an excess. Because it took me years to figure this out. If everything in the world is meant for white malehood, I'm on the winning team. Y'all can have whatever you want, baby. There's nobody above me. But white women and black men are constantly vying for second place. If we're going based on race, white women are second place. If we're going based on gender, black men and all other non-white men are second place. So white women and black men often bond about conditional second place. Black women are at the very, very bottom of the food chain. So it's not lost on me that the groups that are used to having to fight to be next to white men are the ones who ain't got no grace for us because they're fighting amongst themselves to keep the second place. While the ones at the very top who have nothing to lose, of course, they're going to want to give to the ones at the very bottom who have everything to gain. It's their privilege that makes them able to be so kind to us. You're so far down there. I can cherish you and make it rain on you, and you are no threat to me. It took me years to understand it was a backhanded support. You're no threat to me. You're at the very bottom. I'm at the very top. Yeah, I can gas you up. Nothing I say will ever make you anywhere close to me. But if I do that with a black man, he might replace me. Mandingo. If I do that with a white woman, she might replace me. Feminism. You're the only group that I can shower and you will never get close to me. That's why white men are our biggest cheerleaders. And so we have to clock it in that way that they have it to give. Every other group is a marginalized group under white masculinity. So now I'm giving everybody side eye. Like, fix it. Look at Jesse's face. Jesse, what do you think about that? I feel like I just...
That honestly, I had never thought of it that way. And that's so true. That is so true. I have no notes.
I've had so many white men
I feel like, you know, when you like swallow in the wrong hole, it's like...
Like, oh, yeah, it's oppression Olympics. Anybody who's not in first place is not going to have it to give.
Somebody said, damn, Blue.
I told Jesse I was going to behave. This is me behaved.
This is good behavior, y'all. Damn, that was good. No, but seriously, but then even with everything you just said, I'm still like, even with everything you just said, I'm still like, I'm still gonna be on that white man's side because it's true. He
and
has
it doesn't
nothing.
take away from it. I don't mind it. If you have it to give, then sir, I'll take it. I'll take it. Merci beaucoup. Got it. I'll take it.
Because what you said is the truth.
Yeah.
That white woman, she is gonna see me as a threat.
Because
She
you are,
is
baby.
going to-
You
I
are.
am. I'm her biggest threat. I'm her biggest
She's
threat.
paying
First of
to look
all,
like a light-skinned version of you. She's getting
hello.
injected left and right to look like you.
Hello. Is the microphone on? Hello. Hey. C'est pas menti. C'est pas
That's why
menti.
and you see what I just did, guys? By the way, do you see what I just did? I, at the bottom of the food chain, have the clearest view of everybody. The reason why me and Jesse can do these analyses is nobody's checking for us, so we can gather data in a way that's unassuming. So that's why when they say that Black women are dangerous, we are.
We are.
Because if I'm at the bottom of the food chain, that means if I move, the entire thing topples over.
Yep.
There's nothing more dangerous than a Black woman who cannot be ashamed.
Hello.
If you can't shame me, I'm suddenly the biggest threat in the room. So I can't even say that I don't understand why Black men and white women who are not evolved. Because let's be clear, white women can be allies, right? Shout out to Jane Fonda.
Yeah.
Black men can be allies. And so when people who are in conditional second place reach down to pull us up, that is beautiful. That's how we get Black on Black love. Y'all keep talking about Black on Black crime. That's how we get Black on Black love. That's how we get allyship, right?
Yeah.
So there is a good iteration of that. If I was a white man, I would be leaning down and helping Black women too.
Of
So
course.
the Nicks of the world, that's why Nick has so much generosity to Orlandria. He's not thinking about, I need to find me a light-skinned girl to dilute my Blackness like Chris and Jeremiah and even fucking Taylor are doing. He's like, I don't need to dilute shit. I'm already winning. You're gorgeous. That's not a threat to my masculinity. Everything you do, I'm already trying to be a YN from Florida, but they keep on calling me a YW.
Right.
You're enhancing me. I believe Nick likes Olandria because he has nothing to lose and everything to gain.
Everything
to
Clark that. And like you said too, he's generous. He has a mother who's also generous. Like he has a father who sounds generous too.
They named that boy
it's
Marcel.
like
They knew what they were doing.
Marcel. Like Olandra's on the winning team.
She is.
She's on the winning team, literally. And so is Shelly. Hold on.
Our Haitian princess.
Let me give Shelly Timari Manushka, Evelyn Bissant, Jean-Pierre Francois her things too. Because people have been so snarky too at Ace post with all these podcast interviews talking about his height left and right. Let's keep it a buck. Yes, Ace was a menace. Ace was a menace in that villa.
Leo. Ace was just being a Leo.
He was a Leo man. He was a lion. He was a lion. But let's keep it a buck. That man treated Shelly extremely very well.
Oh yeah.
Very well. If there was sand, he picked her up. You ain't gotta walk in that. Come on. Cooked all her meals. Would break down trees, plants to get her some damn flowers. Had bitches like Huda jealous as hell.
Because they should have been chosen instead. How dare you?
How dare you?
Yeah.
How dare you? Not the dark-skinned Black girl who ain't throwing Cuda Cat around the villa.
And she don't want to be my sidekick. How dare she?
You don't see all this Cuda Cat I'm throwing? Oh, you want to go to this one over here, the poised girl?
Yeah.
She's on the winning team. She found Lina Bolglessley. Shelly Bolglessley. Li Juen. They both are on very, very good winning teams when it comes to the men. And shout out to our clients, like I've said before, who didn't throw out any coochie. They left the villas with their coochie still in the cage and had the men's working hard to get them. Overtime. Olandria had a whole villa sobbing for her. That's how I know she was in that villa mothering everybody and being the eldest daughter. Mothering everybody. Mothering. Shelly had 3-4 men at her neck and feet.
Probably more. Yeah.
And didn't have to open up one coochie lip. Clark that.
Can I be honest though? The person who gave up the so we keep talking about Sierra throwing cat when she's scared and Huda throwing cat when the wind blows. Can we all just be honest and objective that Brian never courted Amaya. All he said is, no, she only crazy because she's Spanish. And
That's all he said.
she threw the entire box at him like a New York brick. So at least the other girls were pursued, courted, something. That man simply stood up for her on the playground when he thought that she might be getting bullied by the other boys, and got like her rooter, her tutor. She was shaving her booty crack. So when I say that Amaya and Huda are the same person, but one is more palatable because they're corrigible and one is incorrigible, Amaya got the least amount of courtship. She got no courtship. Not a single person courted Amaya. And can I be honest with you with the optics? When you have a Haitian girl and a Dominican girl on a show like Love Island, you're not expecting everybody to be chasing the Haitian girl and everybody to be clowning the Dominican girl.
Clark it.
The colorists were going crazy. Like, what's happening?
Clark.
And then now you have to dumb yourself down just to get a look because America feels bad at you and is making a punchline of your speech impediment? And the Haitian girl and the other black girl from the South have the audacity to still be standing 10 toes down, getting pursued by all the finest niggas? And the bitches at the bottom of the food chain passed the black men and the white girls in second place and went straight to first with Nick? How fucking dare you? How fucking dare you? That's why they mad. I know why y'all mad. I know who you are. I know why you're mad. I'd be mad if I was you too. Olandria walked right past second place and went to first. That's why y'all are angry. Jesse, I told you not to let me do this. Jesse, I told you not to.
We are just Clarking it. Hey, whoa. No, because I literally said the same thing in a couple lives ago, and people were trying to come for me. Bro, it is the truth. Yeah. I literally said, in that speakeasy scene, when you look at that speakeasy scene with Brian and Amaya, Amaya came in there with that muumuu. She came in there with that ancestral muumuu on. She knew what the fuck she was doing.
Oh, she did. His little thing went up when he saw the muumuu.
When he saw, listen, there's a couple things you do. For instance, this is just my personal experience. When I put my mouchoir on, mind you, I'm with a whole black American man. I'm with a whole black American king. Let me put my mouchoir on. When I grab my little Haitian mouchoir and I put that mouchoir on and I look at that man, the grin on that man's face.
He ready to get to work. It's a hard hat. It's ready to go to work.
The mouchoir, the muumuu, it's just something about pulling out your mouchoir, pulling out your muumuu that turns these men on. People be thinking it's lingerie, it's all that. No, get that mouchoir. Pull out that mouchoir.
I call mine a caftan. I'm a little bougie, so my muumuu's a caftan. Okay, I rebranded my muumuu. It's a muumuu, girl, but I call it a caftan.
It's a muumuu. It's a muumuu. But let's just keep it a buck. When Amaya went into that speakeasy, Amaya did exactly what we always saw her do on the show.
Yeah.
She was doing the pursuing. In every situation, Amaya pursued. And I did not like that for her because I just felt like we never saw any man pursue her. That's why if you've been following my lives, I've said, this was before she won, but I said, if Amaya wins, I would love for her to win, pick the envelope with the money and not share it. Because nobody pursued her. I do not care that Brian defended her. Do I think Brian is a nice guy? He seems like a very nice guy.
Sure. He did nothing. Yeah.
After eating that kitty in the hideaway, we saw this man ask her, oh, by the way, how do you like your coffee? That man had been with Amaya since Casa, never asked her how she liked her coffee. You know why? He never pursued her. Clock it.
If Amaya is a more palatable Huda, Brian is a more palatable Chris. Can we be honest? Can we talk about it? Oh, okay. Are we doing that today or not? Huda and Chris won, just the bizarro world version of them that we could all agree on. Huda and Chris actually won. We just called them Amaya and Brian. Let me know when y'all ready for that conversation.
We ready, girl.
Two men who don't have the energy to put in real effort, but who will be called nice guys by default just by not being toxic. Not being toxic doesn't mean you're good. It just means the absence of being toxic, right? And so two men who are avoidant and do the least, but know exactly how to pick moments to sound stoic, so they're hiding behind stoicism, while never being inconvenienced themselves. Find two women who have no emotional regulation, who all they need is validation in order to blossom, and will do all the work for you as long as you just don't embarrass them. They'll do all the work. So two
Hold on.
emotionally lazy men and two emotionally deregulated girls got together. One was successful in one, and one was unsuccessful and still got fourth place just for breathing.
We're about to go into the Chris interview, so I'm happy you brought up Chris, and I'm gonna ask you this.
You know, I got no trial.
Let me know if I'm clarking it. What Chris refused to do for Shelly is the same thing that Brian refused to do for Andreina.
Yeah, agreed.
Work.
They're the same person, guys.
Same thing. It was the same thing. Andreina's boring. Well, are you exciting?
Are you doing
what did you bring to?
And she's actually not boring. If you read her thing, she talks about how HUDA got an envelope this big of questions that called her out for being a liar, and production conveniently left all those questions about them catching her in lies out to act as if she was being bullied. So the real ceremony was 7 hours, and HUDA was called out for half of it.
Oh, I read the interview for everybody to hear. I read it. She literally said
Andreina's not boring.
No. You know who else backed that? Zach did an interview with Elite Daily, and if you pull it up, there's a picture of Zach at the podium. When you watch the interview, when you watch the episode, do you ever see Zach at the podium?
I saw you post that on Threads. You're the one who hit me to that one. I didn't catch Zach is a little tricky.
He's tricky. He's tricky because I feel like, yes, he would say the things, but also I feel like he would be too quick to align with Amaya. Like, you would say all these things, oh, she made you feel like this, or she forced you to do this. But when you saw that it was moments where you could win with Amaya, you aligned yourself with her. That was my problem with him.
Well, he's from the UK, and I just got back from London. And one of the things I'm always reminded when I go to London is the UK is about 40 years behind us in wokeness. And so the things, the buffoonery that Americans think are marketable and fun here, people in the UK think are just still ghetto and gauche. And so the things about Amaya that America loved, Zach was like, this little hood rat, the fuck? Like, he was still looking at her like, you are just a mess. It wasn't until he realized, oh, crap, I'm a reject from the UK who's friends with Miguel, who couldn't make it out there for being boring. And now I'm in America trying to capitalize on this accent. If America loves this girl, okay, let me course correct.
Exactly.
So the first him was how he actually felt about her as a British man. Then when he remembered that he was in America, extra Ks, he was like, oh, y'all like this shit. Y'all like it when people of color act like buffoons. Got it. Yeah, I like you too, girl. You so authentic. You so amazing.
Oh, he course corrected so quickly.
In real time.
Let's get into the king of course correcting. The motherfucker who should be balling overseas. Before we do that, though, did you watch Love is Blind? Did you watch the season with Clay and Miss Leavout?
Yes, I ran into Clay at the Hollywood Unlocked Awards.
You did?
That same year.
Okay. Yeah. Clay had a question, right?
Clay still got Wi-Fi? Okay. Good for him. Look, you got to kill what you eat in these content creator streets.
Clay had a question. I hope it plays here. Hold on. I hope it plays.
Black women that support Nick and Olandria, I got some questions for y'all. Why is it when Black men date outside of their race, he's labeled a colorist and a disgrace to his culture? But when Black women date outside of their race, they are champions. I be trying to understand, and I try not to judge. I try to just understand people's perspective, but I just cannot understand this level of thinking, and I need y'all assistance. Like, y'all let Nick get away with a lot of stuff that y'all would not dare let Black men get away with, and I wonder why. Everyone keeps saying that Nick and Olandria is a fan-made relationship that Black women created. And if Nick and Olandria make it and they're in a relationship for years on, I'm going to take this L. Y'all can stitch it up and say, Clay, we told you so. That's besides the point. I got to understand the mindset in this. Why do y'all shit on Black men that date outside of their race but champion Black women? I need to know that answer. I know that some women were saying that Nick really validated Olandria. He made her feel like she was a queen. Have y'all ever got game ran on y'all? Like, has a smooth guy ever talked to y'all? That's besides the point. I'm sorry I even brought that up. Why are y'all going so hard for a black woman to date outside of her race when y'all shit on black men who do the same thing? Don't attack me because I date black women. Y'all keep calling me a colorist, and it's just y'all call niggas colorists for dating light-skinned black women, but y'all champion black women who date outside of their race. It don't even make sense to me. A black man could date only black women, but y'all might see him with a light-skinned girl and be like, he's a colorist. But a black woman dates outside her race, she's championed.
Oh, he's dumb. Okay, but listen,
He's
I
so
love
fucking
this.
dumb.
There's
He's
so
so
many
fucking
answers.
dumb.
All his
There's
gotchas
so
are
many-
not gotchas.
Literally, first of all, I think he's fucking dumb, and I can't use the R word. I really wish we could bring back the R word, because I really think that Clay is brain dead. Like, I think at this point, I think Clay is extremely brain dead, right? But he
Yeah.
had another video. I was gonna play it, but he said what he said in another video in this video, and I'm gonna ask you your thoughts. But he had another video prior to this when Nicolandria became a thing. And he was like, y'all are keeping Olandria in this house when literally, like, nobody wants her. She has no connections in this house, right? And at the end of the day, I think for people like Clay, just how we just dissected Nick Viall and them two white chicks in the office, there are a lot of black men who just cannot fathom that a black woman who looks like Olandria would be desired not just by them, but by non-black men. And I think that in itself answers the question that he's posing, which is most of the time when we're looking at black men who go date non-black women, it is literally just rooted in anti-blackness.
Yep.
It's just literally, that's all it is. Literally rooted in anti-blackness. When you look at someone, because we're gonna go into the Chris interview, but when you look at someone like Chris, right? Chris, and I'm talking about Chris because he's talking about Love Island. Chris was shown footage of HUDA before he came into the villa. Chris saw HUDA weaponize her tears against Olandria. Chris saw HUDA weaponize her tears and her emotions and very racial toned name calling when it came to Jeremiah, like brother, calling him a bitch, right? And even when he comes into Casa and in the Villa experience, he watched HUDA be with JD. She did the same thing with JD, which caused JD to have that moment where, oh, why are you so dominant?
Dominant. You're so
Dominant. Chris even saw HUDA weaponize her tears and emotions when she called him out for giving Shelly 2 pancakes but giving her 1, giving Shelly flowers but giving her none. And then when she was calling out Shelly for basically tripping over the challenge, not once did he ever say, well, why do you think Shelly would feel that way? Remember in episode 2, when HUDA weaponized her white women tears against Olandria, Shelly came in and Shelly was like, immediately, Shelly was like, I don't think that that's how Olandria meant that.
Yeah.
You need to take a moment. Take a moment. That's not how she meant that. Chris doesn't do that for Shelly. He doesn't do that for Shelly. Because he hates Shelly, because Shelly didn't give him what he wanted easily. She didn't chase him. But also, him getting with HUDA, you can't convince me that that wasn't partially anti-blackness. You saw her terrorize black people. That fucking turned you on.
And then until it was your turn.
Thank you.
It's all fun and games till it's your turn, because you saw N-word too.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. And so going back to Clay is the same person who went and dated Selena Powell. Selena Powell is literally known to use her coochie as an anti-black weapon. So when you men do it, when you black men do this, usually it is rooted in anti-blackness. Y'all are dating these non-black women who are known to disrespect black women, black folks, but specifically black women, in a way to make them seem better than the black women in your community. And y'all like that. versus when a black woman goes and she dates a white man. When do you see a black woman go and date a non-black man that is actively anti-black? When do you see that?
Unless she's
I'm not
anti-black
saying
herself.
Right. I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but when do you see it? When do you see it? When do you
Here's the
see it?
thing. Here's the thing that I really think is insulting is this misogynistic assumption that women are so emotional that any concerns we have cannot be based in logic and data and pattern recognition, right? And so I want to be clear about the conversation around interracial relationships. My stance about interracial relationships has always been consistent. If you are running towards love, you found love, and it happened to be someone of another ethnic or racial group than you, I have no problem with that, right? My friend Monique, who I do these recaps with, she's a Mexican woman married to a black man who looked just like Tupac. They love each other and met in the military. I have no problem with that. My problem with interracial relationships only happens is when you're running away from your community. So direction matters. Are you running towards love or away from your community? The way that historically, and this is a matter of fact, not opinion. So before anybody says they disagree, that'd be like you disagreeing with me that today is Wednesday. I don't need you to agree for it to be true. As a matter of history, conditionally that's happened is once the enslaved Africans were freed or emancipated on paper in this country, what happened was there was a subsection of people called Creoles. Quick history lessons that involves me and Jesse's heritage. After the Haitian Revolution, about 10,000 Haitians fled from Haiti to Louisiana for freedom because we killed all the French and then shit got real, right? At the time, there were only 10,000 people in Louisiana. The Haitians literally doubled the population of Louisiana. So when you mix the French blood with the Haitian, African blood, and the Spaniard blood, that's how you get Creoles. When Creoles came about, when y'all were caping for Mary and sinners and whatnot, when Creoles came about, they were weaponized against the black community as a hybrid. They were the ones who were supposed to be our in-house overseers. Right? And so what happened when they created the Creoles as a hybrid between black people and white people, because the Haitians were mixing with the French and creating Creoles, they said a lot of those men thought to themselves, my proximity to whiteness is what is giving me this power. And therefore, if I want to maintain my power capitalistically, I need a white woman to dilute my bloodline so we can get even closer to whiteness. This is history, not opinion. Google it. I'm even more impressed when you Google it.
Yeah, we're not arguing. We're not arguing over here.
We're not arguing history, right? So now you have a dynamic where black men are being told, if you dilute your blackness by being with a white woman, the apple of the white supremacist eye, not only are you diluting your bloodline, you're actually gaining capitalistic privileges due to your proximity to whiteness. That's why you will see there are entire groups of men who are intentionally diluting their bloodline with white women as a form of internalized anti-blackness. When you look at the NBA draft, all you see is examples of this. So what happens is 50s and 60s, you get people like Quincy Jones, you get people like Richard Pryor, who on the record, again, look it up, on the record have said, we went after white bitches not because we loved them, because we wanted to take them from white men. We were competing with white men by taking their bitches. There's a long history for centuries of black men who are in competition with white men, weaponizing white women as trophies, as ways to dilute and gain power. None of this is about love, guys. It's about anti-blackness and misogyny, making love with capitalism, right? So what ends up happening, black men for centuries are taught through their fathers, if you get you a bitch who's as close to white, or if you're really good, get you an actual white one. That's the holy grail. That means you made it, my nigga. You made it. The only person in the history of time who we've seen in the NFL upgrade to a black woman, not a white woman, is Russell. Russell Wilson is the only one who went from white to black rather than the other way around. Everybody else, a white girl is the upgrade. It's a symbol to other white men and black men that you are on the winning team. These poor white men, and by the way, are not people. Quincy Jones flat out said, we didn't love these white bitches. They were just trying to a pawn in our game. So when you have a history of black men who recognize that aligning with white women makes them more powerful, and it's steeped in anti-blackness, that's what's happening with the men historically. Historically with the women, complete fucking opposite. Black women will literally have every black man in their life say fuck you and will still die single rather than go outside of their race. There are black women who have died alone waiting on black men to come home. And so when we get with a white man, look at Serena Williams. Serena Williams dated every black man you could think of. Shout out to Common, shout out to Drake.
My
We'll
Lord.
exhaust every single possibility within our own community as an allegiance before love lures us out of the house.
Literally.
We are being lured out of the house of blackness by love when we realize that these men are treating us better than our own men. But y'all ran out the house before we could even say anything.
Literally.
We don't date interracially historically for the same reasons. A lot of black men date white girls as a first resort. We date white men as a last resort. We are
Hello. Hello.
And by the way, Clay saying, why do you call it colorist if you date all black girls? You dummy. Colorist means a color system within the black community.
He is
stupid.
He's brain dead.
Colorism means it's black on black internalized racism. It has to happen with men who only date black women.
The same way there's xenophobia. Hello, that's internalized racism within the black community.
So respectfully, it's a false equivalency. Saying that why is it okay when y'all do it but not when we do it? Because we're doing it for very drastically different reasons. And how we do it. Look at Taylor. Taylor only got favored for being a black man. He didn't act right. He didn't talk right. He wasn't consistent. But Olandria was so stuck on wanting a countrified nigga. She was so stuck on wanting to stay in her community and build beautiful chocolate babies that she almost lost out on her own happiness trying to hold it down for the community.
Yep.
And
trying to be loyal to black love. Yeah.
Right. It took all this courtship for Nick to get her to give her a chance. That is not the same. It's not the same.
It's not the same. It's not the same. You could clearly see with Olandria, she's like, there was one scene, I think it was before the last like elimination, her and Nick were talking and she was like, you know what? No, she said this to her mom. She said, Mom, I didn't really think he really liked me. I didn't think he really liked me. Mind you, the man had been showing her he liked her from the beginning. Even in her mind, she couldn't fathom that Nick liked her. And I will tell you this, some people will try to argue this. I will tell you this, that too is a form of anti-blackness, but that is internalized anti-blackness. We don't know what Olandria's experience has been in the dating realm. For her to feel, we can assume, but we don't know. For her to feel that, to look at Nick and be like, there's no way that he would like me, we don't know what type of ugly shit that girl has been through. You know what I mean? And so, like you said, it's like you said, like I've said, it's for totally two different reasons. When you see black women date outside of our race, it is literally like you said, we are chasing love. We're not chasing anti-blackness.
Yeah.
But with black men, especially dark-skinned black men, y'all will drag light-skinned niggas this, light-skinned niggas that, but y'all will sprint to go create one.
Y'all the ones making them. Why
will,
do so many dark-skinned men attack light-skinned men when y'all are the ones who are making them?
Y'all they daddies.
Kodak Black admitted, he said, I'm black enough, I need to be with a light-skinned or a white girl. Kodak Black, here's the thing. I'm not speaking for y'all. You guys have admitted this. Literally. Quincy Jones, rest in peace, admitted it. Richard Pryor, rest in peace, admitted it. The niggas are admitting it when they get old and tired and want God to let them in. Like, oh, let me tell the truth before I go.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, right? We are talking about generalizations. There's always going to be the Candace Owens, right? Who are anti-black. There's always going to be people like my friends who just happen to fall in love with the white girl, but they the most down for, like, again, this is not about saying men versus women. This is about saying if you're running towards love, I have no problem. But if you are running away from the black community, we can smell that on you. And only men who this applies to in some way are insulted. And a lot of you, shout out to Tyrese, will do the trick of picking a girl who's 10% black and calling her your Nubian queen when the whole time you thought she was scared from accounting.
Come on.
We're onto that trick, by the way. We're onto that trick. Why only they black women? Please pull them up. Why does it look like the Barge family? Why is it El DeBarge in them? Like, oh, you only date black women. Okay, but it's a very specific kind of black. Even Prince. Exactly. I love Prince. I grew up on Prince. But I will tell you, he did a little bit of damage to me when I was seeing Vanity 6 and Apollonia. And I was like, so, I'm not cute? No. It took Khadijah James from Living Single for me to realize I was still popping. Shout out to Queen Latifah, right? Yeah. So throughout history, our men have been colorist and proud of it and rewarded for it financially. Men are financially rewarded for having white adjacent or white presenting women next to them. When a man has a dark-skinned black woman next to them, the first thing we do is go, oh, and here's the thing too, knowing that you're going to get dragged That's why the white men who date black women are also different, because the white girls who date black men often feel smug and superior. The black women who are dating white men, those white men are choosing them knowing they're going to get clowned. So you're smugly being congratulated while he's getting clowned. So not only is it different when we do it, the people who choose us are going through something very different as well. White Nick is going through something very different than if a white person had dated a black man on the show. They would have been clapping like, oh my God, you and Jeremiah, y'all are so cute. You can make beautiful babies. Nick is getting, you sure you want that jigaboo? We're going through completely different struggles.
Come on.
Tell the truth and shame the devil.
Tell the truth and shame the devil. And just a last bit of comment for Clay too. Clay, when you got with Selena Powell, that girl publicly dissed your mother, your black mother, disrespected your black mother. So again, all this whole conversation that we just had, literally, your life alone, you're proving our point. I know in your mind, which you don't have much of one. In your mind, you think you're spitting some real shit. You're not. You're rooted in anti-blackness. A lot of black men, a lot of y'all are just rooted in anti-blackness. I'm sorry. Look at Shannon Sharp.
We knew Shannon Sharp.
Shannon Sharp will literally tell you, oh, when I was a kid, they used to call me a monkey. They used to call me ugly. But you was paying that little white lady how much money per month for her to, how much money per cheek for her to call you a big old black orangutan? That lady was calling, what was it, 50, what was it?
It was 25 a cheek, I think.
$25,000. You was paying that white lady $25,000 per cheek for her to call you Mighty Joe Young. You had no problem with that white woman calling you Mighty Joe Young, but when the little black girls down to the playground were calling you a big black monkey, you had a problem with that. Like, it's just like, please, please.
I will say this. Remember earlier we said that white men have it to give because they're the top of the food chain. If you do a gradient, the whiter you are, the more grace you can give because you have it, right? The darker you are, the more the probability of anti-blackness is. And somebody said this tonight, it's politically incorrect but true. When I see an incredibly dark-skinned black man who's not conventionally attractive, don't we all assume what he wants? We all instinctively assume he's going to want something in there to dilute that unpalatable level of blackness. Can we all keep... Shannon Sharp looking the way he looks is why nobody was surprised when they found out that Unc was trying to play in the baby batter, right? So let's be clear. It's all anti-blackness. We're not saying... And also, shout out to black men who love black women. Shout out to black women who love black men, and shout out to black people who love themselves. Because my thing is, when the 92% did their big one and still didn't win because it was stolen from us, everybody said, I'm only focusing on black people. I couldn't get behind that. I'm only focusing on people who are not anti-black. I actually cannot stand behind all black people because some of our biggest haters are anti-black black people. If you are someone who fucks with black people heavy through actions and not just words, you could be a Nick, you could be a Hung Do Fat, you could be Esmeralda. If you are pro-black, I fuck with you heavy. You being a nigga is not enough anymore.
No.
Because the call is coming from inside the house. And the GOP knew that. The GOP knew that uneducated black men who felt disenfranchised by having their women be smarter than them, more educated than them. And by the way, it's not because we're smarter than black men, it's because they were being disenfranchised and put into jails. Our men were going to jails and intentionally being taken out of our system while we were going to college. So it was an unfair advantage. So I understand that it's not their fault. They're not stupid at all. But society separated us from our men and then told our men, we'll take you in instead. It's easy to fix a problem that you created. So the GOP knew to focus on these uneducated rappers who, no matter how much money they made, always felt bad around the Solidity blacks. Well, the Solidity blacks are with the Democrats, but the GOP fucks with me. And now you a coon looking for white acceptance.
A raccoon. We can't say COON on YouTube, child. They gonna...
Oh, my bad. You are a raccoon, and if you are pro-black, you can hear the sound of my voice. I love you. I like anybody who's pro-black. I like anybody who's pro-black, anybody who's anti-black. I hope you choke on a chicken bone. Hit it just.
Period. Speaking of anti-blackness, let's go to Chris. So Chris was
that's a hell of a segue.
Child. Chris was on the Viall files. Oh shit. Before we go to Chris, I wanted to say this too. So Taylor said this about getting Jeremiah out of the house. I don't know if you ever had any thoughts about Jeremiah being thrown out of the house, but he said this, and I thought it was interesting.
Perception of fans. We didn't get to see the conversation. So that was just fan theories making shit up. But it a lot of, we all kind of thought that was like Jeremiah was getting a lot of attention and he got the axe because it was like, even Nick said after Jeremiah left, there's going to be like more options for us to explore and things like that. So can you share all that you guys came to that decision and what were some of the conversations that you all had that came to you guys bring Jeremiah home? That maybe
Yeah, so really, Ace wasn't even the one that really like led the. To be real, it was mainly me and Ace who led that conversation, and it was like our decision was based off of. So Pepe had a really strong connection with him, like that was a really strong connection. So it's like we can't send Pepe home because he really does have like a super strong connection. Like that was a genuine connection that he made. Austin has explored every situation he's been put into and has tried, and then with Jeremiah, it was like first 2 weeks he was locked in with Huda, didn't want to explore anyone else. And then with Iris, it was like he wanted to explore Iris. And then as soon as Andrina came in, it was just like, forget Iris, me and Iris are just friends. And now I'm all on Andrina. And that was like he was having a conversation with us in the bedroom and he'll be like before we go out for night, we're getting dressed. And before we go out to have our conversations, he told me and Pep, like, I'm gonna talk to her the longest today. So nobody else get to talk to her. And he had just met her the day before, so just like he's going right back down that hole he did with Huda that we tried to save him from and tell him to explore, and then he's doing it right again, and he was like, he told us, he was like, y'all get mad like when I don't hoop, but then now y'all mad when I'm hooping. I'm just like, it's not that you're hooping, it's like the way you hoop. Like, you can go and explore and talk to everyone, but it's like the way you're doing it. Like you're being possessive. She just got here literally last night, and now you want to talk to her so nobody else get to talk to her. And it's like me and Andrina, we were having a conversation in the kitchen, and he was, walking in front of us, walking behind us, like the whole time me and her was having a conversation, and it wasn't even a real conversation. We just ended up standing next to each other in the kitchen, and we just ended up talking to each other because we were standing next to each other. So it wasn't like a deep conversation. It was just like oh, where you from? Like, what do you do? Type of deal. And as soon as we got done with that conversation, like he walked straight to her, started making handshakes with her, and I'm just like, like we keep telling you, Jeremiah, like chill out on her, like don't be all possessive and wanting to like talk to her 24/7. And Andrina even said it, like he's all over me, like he's not giving my space type of deal. And like we keep telling you, like chill out, let her have her space, like let other people get to know her, because when she came into the house, I think Pepe wanted to talk to her, Nick wanted to have a conversation with her, and it was like nobody's able to have a conversation with her because you own her 24/7, and she just got here last night, and he just wasn't getting that understanding. And it's just like, okay, out of Jeremiah, Pepe, and Austin, Pepe, the real strong connection. Austin has explored everything possible that came his way, no matter if it's his type or not. He's still trying to explore it. And then there was Jeremiah, who was just stuck in that rabbit hole.
Do you feel like that's a little like the whole Austin of it all? Like, he tried all these connections, none of them worked for him. So like, therefore maybe his connection isn't here in Love Island, versus Jeremiah, who had a strong connection with Huda. That didn't work. He tried it with Iris. That didn't work. And now he has a strong connection with Adrina. Was there a little bit of like, let's get the competition out of the way?
No, I wouldn't say it was nothing like, let's get the competition out of the way. It was just like, Jeremiah has had his type come through there, and Austin didn't have a type come through her at all.
This is dumb. What do you think about that? I think I find it hard to believe the whole Andrina, the Andreina part of it, which is why I've been asking for that girl for an interview. I'm tired of begging.
Come, you're safe.
She gave me her team's information. I emailed them. She even reached out to me. She's like, did they email you back? I'm like, no, sister. I said, girl, let me just send you the live link and we could just talk. What's going on? And I saw she did something with Speedy, so I hope she gives me a chance. But something about that doesn't seem right to me. What do you think?
I think, first of all, Taylor's not going to go in there and be like, we were all hating on him because he was tall and fine. Like, he's not going to say that. Can we all just admit that the answer that we all suspect is not something that he actually could say? So I'm not taking it for Taylor, but like, he can't tell the truth. The truth looked real bad. Yeah. I will also say too is be mindful of groupthink. You're going to see as we get closer to the reunion, there's going to be clusters of people saying the same thing, not because they're true, but because it's convenient to be in fellowship with people who all agree on something, right? They're all trauma bonded in that villa. And so sometimes when people say things, I always ask, who am I listening to and how susceptible are they to groupthink? I love Nick, but he's very susceptible to groupthink. Taylor, don't love him as much. He's very susceptible to groupthink. And so I take what they say with a grain of salt because they're not independent thinkers. Whereas Austin, funny enough, whether I agree with him or not, if Austin says some shit, Austin thinks for himself. So we have to think about who is a slave to groupthink versus who can be an independent thinker. Also, can we be very honest? Jeremiah is an attractive, tall, anxious boy.
Mm-hmm.
Girls love that shit when you tall and fine and a little bit anxious. Oh, I want to take you under my wing and take care of you. So I think that what they saw did happen, but they're not acknowledging it was mutually happening. He might have been anxiously like, oh, I like the girls because he's a book nerd, right? But because he's fine and tall, the girls are like, okay, I'll come with you. It wasn't happening under duress. Jeremiah's one of those boys who doesn't need game because his archetype is very pleasing. It's a very Instagram-friendly archetype. So I think the hating that they were doing, they justified by what they said. So what you're hearing from Taylor, I believe is what the boys were saying to each other. They don't recognize it doesn't make sense. Also, Jeremiah is a fearful avoidant. It's an attachment style. I'm guessing he's a fearful avoidant. Let me not diagnose him. Where you oscillate between being very clingy 1 minute, but then when you feel attacked, you become avoidant. You oscillate between the two. While Huda is more obviously anxiously attached. She's going to always just be nipping at your heels like a chihuahua, right? And so that is a toxic dynamic in general. They co-created a toxic environment. But what was working against Jeremiah is Huda at least had a semblance of a girls' gang, where Jeremiah was being seen as a subconscious threat by the boys who recognized that he had the worst game, but had the best batting average. You can't admit that the nerd who is being anxious and weird is pulling more bitches than you.
Yeah.
You can't admit that's why it hurts. So I do believe that Taylor and even Nick think they're telling the truth. But the subconscious bias is he had too much game for a nigga with no game.
Yeah. He was hooping.
I will say
Jeremiah
this, though. I will say this. This is the thing that I was debating saying. And I'm going to ask you a question, Jesse. When Jeremiah talks, it's clear that he's not misogynistic and has been to therapy, but he is colorist.
Oh, girl, why you getting ahead of me? Why you getting ahead of me?
When Ace talks, it's clear that Ace is very pro-black, but misogynistic.
Yes.
Which would you rather, a pro-black misogynistic or a anti-black feminist? Which one would you rather?
Give me Ace for 500, Alex.
I hate to say it. I have been defending Jeremiah all season, and yet when I had to pan out, I'd rather a pro-black because you're already a man, so the misogyny's already in there a little bit. We have to work on it, right? Yeah. I'd rather an Ace than a Jeremiah in real life, and I can't believe I'm saying that.
Yeah. Give me Ace for 500. Give me Ace for 500, Alex. Thank you so much. That girl.
Shelly, we get it.
Shelly, una bolgreso.
So for all the Jeremiah stands, be clear, your boy is not pro-black though.
No. And you're leading me to my other last clip, and then we finally gonna get to Chris. I was like, we take it forever to get to
Chris is getting deprioritized like he is on the bench.
Okay. You know he could be balling overseas anyway, child.
During the off season, child.
This is what Jeremiah said. Hold on. He was on I think a live stream somewhere. Hold on.
His initial attractions were to Huda and Bella. Rooting for Nicolette, the Villa. Just want to see for those guys. That's been a something like that.
Did she not play the clip?
USD's with Jeremiah leaving the Villa because of Andrea. I'm clocking T.
No, hold on. I want to see if I could find the clip myself. Jeremiah was on a stream, right? And he said that if things didn't work out with Iris and Andreina, that he was gonna go pick Olandria.
Yeah, he was gonna pull a Taylor.
And I was like, oh,
so you're saying out of the OGs? Yes, out of the OGs. Let's be honest, man. Keep it 1,000, baby. I appreciate this up. Respectfully, my not number two, but like, like when I horse up in there, I said Huda and Bella. Those are like my two. Those are the first two. The first two that caught your eye. Oh, yeah, for sure. Okay. And low-key, Olandria a little bit, because that's what I like did the most within the challenges. Olandria, yeah, she's dope. Yeah, okay. I was there. I was.
Do we believe that Mr. Foreign, that's my preference, Mr. Foreign? Do we believe that?
What I heard, because y'all know I like to translate, was I would have picked the two girls I was attracted to, and if that didn't work, I would have picked the mammy who I know would have been dependable.
Clark it.
So he's telling the truth. It's the why. The first two girls were based on desirability, and the last one was based on reliability, because mammies are supposed to be reliable. If all else fails, we'll be in the bosom of a mammy. So if I couldn't get the girls that I wanted to sleep with, I could have had Olandria, let me suck on her teeth a little bit. That's what I heard.
Clark it. I think you said something so profound right now, and it's like, listen, you better make sure that your partner is with you for desirability instead of reliability.
Yep.
I think that needs to be.
Do you need me?
Yeah. Do you want me or do you need me?
Yeah.
Okay, let's get to Chris Child. So Chris went on them white people sofa, them white people green sofa, child, the Viall sofa. And here's what he had to say about Jeremiah, which I thought was very fucking interesting. Let's take a look. Hold on.
But it must have been so genuine
Yeah.
that you really thought like, oh, I'm seeing, and correct me if I'm wrong, a different person than maybe what you saw
Hell yeah.
watching it back, that you're like, now I do want to give this a shot. Is that right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think even when I first met her in Casa, I noticed a difference. And, you know, she was expressing to her first connection, JD, that she was planning on moving different. And the way she was talking and me hearing some of her conversation, I'm like, okay, like, no, she's cool. Like, I don't think like what I saw was like truly her. I think she was just in a very toxic situation and both of them are like, they just weren't compatible.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, I truly saw a different side of Huda that I connected with and that I really liked. And I'm glad that, you know, I was able to explore that and get to know that real side of her, because she really is a cool ass person. I'm not gonna lie. So
when you got to see a little bit of Jeremiah and Huda's relationship,
yeah,
did you come in with preconceived notions of how she moved and then have that drastically changed? Or were you already just been like, I don't know, man, I'm just gonna go with the clean slate? Because I think a lot of fans, you know, Huda's the star
that part
of this season, right? She is, whether you like her or don't like her, people care about her, they have opinions. She's the star, right? And so what was that like for you, or was it intimidating knowing that you were quickly like connecting with one of the show's biggest stars?
Honestly, like when I first watched her coming in, I thought she was great, you know what I mean? And I think when she started getting to that point with Jeremiah where things got bad, I think it just brought out a whole different side of her that wasn't truly her. And I know like people are either gonna uplift you or they're gonna show like different sides of you, you know what I mean? And I don't think like that side of her was the true her. I think it was just her situation that she was in brought that side out of her. But that's not how she would act normally, you know what I mean? Because how she was with me was totally different. But I didn't have a thought process on how I thought she was like coming into Casa. I just gave it a clean slate. You know what I mean? Just I tried to see her who she really was from an outsider's perspective, because I wasn't coupled up with her from day one. So, but seeing her like that, I mean, I truly don't think that's the true her.
You know, when I was watching the finale and I did my live, I did a live on the finale, and I said this: Chris and Huda are both pathological liars. Like pathological liars. This is a prime example of this. For this man to sit on them white people green couch, for him to sit on that Viall couch, and for him to say that basically Jeremiah, I'm paraphrasing, but that Jeremiah brought out that horrible side out of Huda, and because she wasn't with me, she wasn't that way. So then why did you make her walk on water then?
The lady singing Moon River could attest that's not true. What's happening? Did you miss the finale yourself?
Why did you send her for a swim? Why did you have her waiting in the water? Why did you have her waiting in the water? Like, what is the path?
He's a liar just like his mama. His mama a liar, his sister a liar. It runs in the family.
It runs in the family.
Well, you know what it is though? I'm not gonna blame the women too much. He's a homosexual. And so they probably got tired of him sleeping on their couch. The couch probably has a Chris-sized dent in the booty part. And so I'm not gonna get mad at his mama for wanting her couch back. I'm not gonna blame that lady. She want her house back. Okay, so I take it back. I'm not gonna call his mama a liar no more. That lady was doing what she had to do to pay her mortgage. But Chris, respectfully, no, I've dated too many basketball players overseas. They make blue collar money, a good 60K, maybe 70 if you have a good agent. This is the off season. You being a blue collar basketball player, flexing about you could have been playing basketball overseas during the off season when you make regular money and are unhoused is a weird flex. Like, it's a weird flex.
Because mind you, if that was the case, go dribble, ho. Why are you here? Why is you here? Go dribble, bitch.
Does your agent know that you could have been dribbling about? Because I don't think he knows that was an option for you. Also, too, I think the reason why Chris lied is...
C'est pas nous-mêmes qui relou ici, qui est-ce qui nous pas pour you. Nous pas pour you.
But here's the thing, though. If you were a homosexual and the biggest star to white America wanted you, it does not behoove you to stay hitched to her to see if you can stay on the good side of the hood rats. Does it not behoove you, for the sake of the rent that you hope to have someday, to still be Team Huda. Mind you, Huda's back at the house because they're all staying in the same house in LA for the week. So you're about to see her in 10 minutes anyways. And her fans only care if you're adjacent to her, and you lost them when you didn't pick her up in the water. So doesn't it behoove you to speak kindly of her? Doesn't it behoove you to be anti-Jeremiah because he's not as marketable even though he's doing okay?
Literally.
The kindness tends to trickle up to whoever is the most marketable. Watch who is getting grace and who's not. Now that they're out of the house and they're clarking it, whoever is being beloved by America, they're picking whatever fandom they can hop to the easiest.
Of course.
So Huda knows that the Nicolandria hive might still like the fact that the couple is trauma bonding with her. So she's latched to them and they're calling her their baby. Even though her actual baby hasn't seen her in 3 months and she hasn't gone home yet.
Mind you, Pepe is already home with his dog, his frogs, his turtles. He home with his mama, his daddy.
You and Mamacita, but you didn't ask for them to give you a ride to the house first before to go to the Carolinas and see your baby before going to LA. But you, Mamacita, right? That's all you talked about all season. Until it was time to go be a Mamacita, because you don't want to be left out of the group chats and the Instagram lives.
You a mom till it's time to be a mom. How you
That
doing?
baby is an accessory in a way that makes me uncomfortable. I'm not saying she doesn't love her child, but you can love your child and still be a manipulator. YouTube is full of parents who love their children and still weaponize them for clout. This platform we're on is proof of what we're saying.
Is the microphone on? Hello? Hello? Is the microphone on? Hello? Oh, girl.
Clout chasing mothers are the new genre, honey.
Clark it.
So yes, Chris is a damn lie. I also want to say for those who think Chris is a nice guy, something really quick that I wanted to read. There's something called the dismissive avoidant guy who thinks he's a good guy. Chris is a dismissive avoidant. He is a good guy when it comes to being stoic, when it comes to being chivalrous and putting that persona, but his mask will fall off whenever he's not in control and doesn't feel as if he is 100% desired. The minute he has to risk failure, rejection, or sit in discomfort, he suddenly lashes out and says, you can walk on your own. We all know a nice guy, a performatively nice guy like that. And so what it says is this man genuinely believes he's emotionally healthy because he's not yelling or starting drama. He avoids conflict, talks in a calm voice, maybe even reads self-help books, but his version of love is emotionally absent. He equates detachment with maturity. What he sounds like is, I just want to keep it simple. I'm not into playing games. I've never raised my voice to you, have I? But this is how he behaves, though. He avoids emotional check-ins or dismisses any attempts to connect deeply. Huda, whether she did it well or not, she tried to connect, and that's always when he would turn off. He sees himself as low maintenance. He uses logic or calmness to shut down emotional discussions. He frames your needs as confusing or excessive or dramatic, even when they make sense. And he sees his lack of vulnerability as him not being a burden. This is confusing to an anxious partner, and Huda is definitely anxious. Because he doesn't act mean, he doesn't create overt chaos, and he says everything you want to hear, so why do you feel unsafe? Because you aren't safe. Society praises this man by saying that he is celebrated because he's not mean like the other men. His detachment is mistaken for stoicism. His emotional distance is praised as composure. His ability to not get too attached is framed as maturity and control. He becomes the one friends look up to for not letting women get to him. You a strong black man, right? What's really happening, though, is it's a glorified lack of intimacy. These men are often surrounded by peers who also haven't developed emotional depth and therefore can't see through their optics. It creates an echo chamber where everybody tells them they're a good guy, but nobody points out that they need to grow the fuck up.
No.
Chris is an avoidant, playing the nice guy who can meet you everywhere but deep.
Listen, I'm
not clapping for that.
No. I didn't know the term for him, for his attachment style. I don't really look at attachment styles, but here's how I knew Chris was a scammer. The moment I knew he was a scammer, number one, when he said that whole I could be balling overseas, I was like, yeah, this motherfucker's a scammer. For real, for real.
I'm between houses. You can say I'm between houses.
Yeah. But the first time I said, oh, this man's a scammer is when he told Huda after he realized that he couldn't just get Shelly to chase him down. When he realized that Shelly was going to, like, to get to Shelly, I actually have to be a man of my word. I actually have to follow through and do the things. Mind you, this man had came into the house, into the villa, pulled Ace for a chat, man to man, to let
Ain't no
Ace
funny
know.
shit. Ain't no funny
Ain't
shit.
no dick swinging. We ain't no dick swinging. Ain't no dick swinging. And ain't really ain't do
Which was dick
nothing.
swinging, by the way. He was swinging his dick when he said it.
Literally.
Irony.
Dick
Ain't no dick
swinging.
swinging as your dick is swinging in his little face. Ace is up here looking at him like, what you doing? It's a shadow. Is it an eclipse? The fuck? Dick all swinging over this man's head. Talking about ain't no dick swinging.
Dick just a swinging. And then, mind you, he does all that, but does nothing for Shelly.
Give us nothing. Give us nothing.
Because remember what he said, I was raised. I thought that was so interesting. I was raised not to chase, to get nothing in return. I thought that was so interesting. And in that same conversation, he said, yeah, I usually attract emotionally unstable women. It's not that you usually attract emotionally unstable women.
You like that shit.
That you look for it because that's what you can manipulate. That's what you can work with.
Exactly.
That's what you can work with. And so the entire time with Huda too, with all her problematic actions, he was constantly trying to pacify that, trying to find ways to manipulate it in moments. There would even be moments where she would say, hey, you know, what are your thoughts on this? I have no thoughts. Give me a kiss. Give me a kiss. Because he knows she throwing coup de cat. That's her language. Her language is seduction. So I'm going to manipulate that. I'm going to capitalize off that. And I'm going to get some coup de cat too. I know this shit ain't going nowhere. So I'm going to get what I can get out of this too. I'm going to ride her off into the sunset too. That's when I knew the man was a whole scammer. And I really think that they both kind of bonded off of Shelly, off of the fact that
mutual disdain. Also, she played in your face too. How did this black bitch think that she don't need to chase neither of us? I thought she was going to be my sidekick. Well, I thought she was going to chase me. I'm 6'8". I'm a 6'8" Tyler Perry with a curly do-rag. Like, come on. I thought I was going to get chased. And here's the thing, too. Shelly was just breathing. Shelly didn't do nothing but breathe for y'all to be this obsessed with her.
Literally. He's a knitter. A whole knitter. Going to this clip, too, when he's in the, going back to the interview, he said this.
Or how did you feel like everyone's reaction was?
I feel like I don't think she really did anything wrong.
Okay.
Before the challenge even started, we all mutually said, like, okay, do we all have consent about anything? Like, does anybody have any boundaries that they have? Like, let's address them. Who's not comfortable with what?
Really?
Everybody raised their hand. Yeah, we're all comfortable kissing.
And no one said nothing.
Anything. We were in the fire pit, and I think it was either Shelly or somebody in the group were like, just to make sure everybody is everybody okay with that? We all put our hand up. You know what I mean? So going into that, Hood is like, okay, I'm gonna really do my big one then. Like, everybody's cool with it. Like, it's just a challenge. Okay, cool. And I think a big thing is nobody established their boundaries with their person before that. Led to people doing whatever they wanted to somebody else's couple, which in my opinion, it's a challenge. You shouldn't really take it that seriously. And
this is so cringe because everybody who's left the villa, everybody else who has left the villa said that Huda did way too much. You have Taylor and Clark who did an interview where they said Huda basically rolled Ace's face. And when you watch the footage, you literally see her getting ready to do that. She literally put her coup de cat to his coulda receiver, his facial coup de cat receiver, and rolled his face. Who the fuck would think that somebody else here would do that? Like, who would think somebody would actually do that? And we all know why you're saying that about Shelly is because you weren't going to be able to just get easy access to Shelly. You had to work for it. You have resentment for that.
He's also not equipped, though, right? The level of pressure that he was going to apply, that he sold to her, was literally just him being tall. He literally thought he was going to walk in there, be tall and black, and that Shelly was going to come running. He didn't have a plan B. Plan A was barely, it was like a lowercase a. And I think the thing about men like Chris, because I've dated several of them short term, thank God, is that the reason why they run from women like us is because they know that because we're not unstable, it'll be very easy for us to clock how much they lack emotional depth.
Clark
An
it.
anxious girl is too busy chasing you to realize that you beautiful gowns. You have nothing to say.
Exactly.
So
Which is
anxious
why
girls
he
can keep
said,
themselves busy being anxious.
which is why he said he don't do no chasing. Which is why he said he don't do the chasing.
Can
And
you
he
court?
said that
Can you at least? Why did we skip courtship? Why did we go straight from chasing and dying? Is there no courtship in between?
No. He not gonna chase you, and he said that to the chaser. He said that to the chaser. He saw all the footage.
Yeah.
He saw what he was working with when it came to
He
Huda.
put Huda on purpose.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. There were other girls. He had this to say about Huda too. Let me see. Oh, not this. Did they delete this video? But he did say he had a moment where he talked about Huda violating his boundaries. Oh, I guess they took the video down. But he basically said that the whole when they were in the bedroom together and she was doing the countdown. And he said that y'all didn't really even see what the argument was about. The argument was I was trying to get sleep and she was stopping my sleep. And I'm like, again, this motherfucker's a pathological liar. We saw that.
Yeah.
We literally saw that. You kept saying I'm asleep. We saw that.
Yeah.
We also saw her basically try to coerce you by telling you, if you don't do what I tell you to do, I'm gonna make your day tomorrow a living hell. I'm paraphrasing. But what do you think about that? That's what I was gonna get to say to ask you. I just feel like if that was a man, I mean, honestly, I feel like Huda's entire existence in this villa had me saying, if that was a man or if that were a black woman, if that were a man or if that were a black woman, the way like there would be no conversation about brands and partnerships, and there would be no 3 million Huda rats. There wouldn't be
4.4
like that.
The last time I checked, 4.4 million people are following her on TikTok. Chris's girlfriend, alleged ex-girlfriend, posted something, and take that with a grain of salt because he could have just poked her once on her couch when he was sleeping over, child. We don't know. But this woman who's claiming to be Chris's ex said, "Chris is my ex, and my take is that he is highly."
Hold on, wait, pause.
Go ahead.
Pause before you read that. Amaya also said Huda did her big one. She doesn't think it was too much.
Amaya is Huda, so what does that mean?
Okay, thank you.
That's like when the police says we investigated ourselves and we didn't see no wrongdoing. Yes, you investigated yourself. Are y'all serious? I hope y'all are joking.
Okay, continue. I'm so sorry. You said
that was written with sarcasm font. I'm so sorry. First of all, Amaya said is where you lost me, but okay.
Oh my God. Okay.
Beautiful gowns.
Beautiful gowns.
Chris's alleged ex Kate said, "Chris is my ex, and my take is that he is highly avoided and weaponizes his emotional intelligence to get women to be extremely invested in him." He did that to Shelly. He idolizes romance, but when the closeness becomes real, he is unable to handle any criticism and becomes very cold and passive aggressive. Then when you try to end it with him, he repeats this cycle. He's very toxic, y'all. Just haven't had the time to see it. But I do think he's similar to Pepe in serial monogamy. So he's loyal for whatever that means. So he'll stick around and make your life a living hell. I mean, that's a homosexuality. That's just called housing, right?
No, literally.
Like,
he doesn't. Yeah.
I'm not gonna leave this free rent.
Speaking of homosexuality, Nick said in them two white chicks in the office, he said that him and Chris and someone else are moving in together.
Who's paying the deposit?
Nick.
Right, Nick. You
Nick
won't have
Daddy
your poor
from
mama
Belgium.
slaving over the. You know what I love about Ace and Shelly, and this is something that makes me sad about Nicolandria since I'm such a Nicolandria supporter. Nicolandria, because they are a new couple that went through so much to find each other and were given permission by their ecosystem to finally be with each other. There's a certain level of external interference that is present in their relationship because of how they came about, right? And so there's a certain level of outside noise that they kind of have to listen to because they didn't know that they didn't see everything that we saw.
Yeah.
Because of that, their discernment is a little bit off, and they're letting Huda be their play baby. Huda's the new Marcel. They're letting Chris go to Chipotle up in Nick's ass. So Huda is up Olandria's ass, and Chris is up Nick's ass. Very cloud chasey.
Yep.
Now check what's happening with Ace and Shelly. They're like, yo, we'll meet y'all at Disney World.
Literally.
We'll meet y'all there.
Literally.
The black on black couple has clocked the T, had a couple extra days outside, already knows America only halfway fucks with them, so they have nothing to lose.
Don't
And
give a
they're like
fuck.
the two auntie uncle, like,
Literally.
Olandria, when you and Nick are done, come to the house and we got.
And no, we're not doing no podcast.
I'm scared for Nick Olandria because there's so much hype supporting them. I don't want them to get too invested in external validation because that would be their demise. They have to figure out how to be exclusive and closed off from us, America. They need to tell us to mind our fucking business a little bit.
Yep.
I'm a little concerned about how accessible they are because anything people can touch, they can destroy.
Yep. So true. So true. I hope when it comes to Shelly and Ace, they sit down with somebody black. That's all I hope. I hope y'all going down and sit down with somebody black or somebody who's at least. I would love for you to come. I would love Shelly to come. I've already reached out. I would love Shelly to come. Same thing with Olandria. I would love for her to sit down with somebody black. Finally, Chris did say this about not carrying HUDA. Let me see. Hold on.
That man talks in circles.
To why you did not carry her through the water.
Yeah.
What are those reasons?
So to me, how the date went, she was like, I don't like this about you. I don't like this. I don't like this. I don't like this. So it kind of put me in like a mental state of like, damn, like, do you not like me at all? Like, and then that's why I was like, when she brought up, like, I think we should be friends, I was like, I was just waiting for you to say it because she was literally telling me all the things that she didn't like. And in my head, I'm like, okay, like she don't fuck with me. You know what I mean? But when it came to me not carrying her, I think it was the way she kind of asked me that kind of threw me. It's like, are you gonna carry me or are you gonna make me walk? I'm like, okay, first of all, like I came back wanting to help you down and like walk with you as a gentleman should. I just didn't want to give her that treatment of, okay, you still think like you can still get like that princess treatment out of me. Like once we establish what we are, which is friends now, I'm not gonna treat you as like you're my woman and hold you like that. Like that's just how I move, you know what I mean? Like I went up to her, I came back to make sure she was cool, like why are you crying, stuff like that. We talked about it a little bit. I held my hand out for her to help her down so we could walk together. She didn't want that. She wanted to be carried. And I'm like, well, I'm not gonna do that. Like you're not mine anymore. Like we're not, you know what I mean? Like we're broken up now. So I'll help you. I'll be a gentleman and help you like down and you know what I mean, so you don't have to be by yourself, but she didn't want that.
I feel like that was a whole bunch of nothing.
Chris can, again, he's proving my point. Every time Chris opens his mouth, I feel like y'all want to admit that me and Jesse were right about this man. First of all, there's two things that are happening simultaneously that makes this water thing tricky. There's the visceral and there's the cerebral. On a visceral level, as a black person who doesn't hate black people, watching Huda be so psychologically violent and be so dangerous with her rhetoric around black people, watching an N-word finally say, nah, fuck you, figure it out on your own, on a visceral kind of level.
Loved it.
It felt good, but it felt good in the same way that OJ getting off felt good. It felt good even though we knew you were wrong. You know what I mean? We knew you were wrong, but it felt good to see her get what she deserved. So yes, for those who felt good about that, I'll allow it because it was the only time that Huda actually met karma face to face in front of us and we were allowed to see it aired. So there's that. Also though, when a grown man hears that he is doing something to displease his partner, he will say, well, let me know what I'm doing so we can course correct and let's discuss it. When a boy pretending to be a man hears something about critique, he says, well, why do you like me? If you hate everything about me, why are we together?
Why you
Only little boys talk like that.
Thank you.
Chris Touch told on himself that he's a child. No grown man who knows how to act like a man in real life and not just in optics is going to hear his woman say, I feel unsafe around you. And his first reaction be, well, damn, you don't like nothing about me.
Yeah, so fuck you.
You know what? That's the most fuckboy thing he could have ever, in his own word, he admitted he was a fuckboy right in that clip.
Literally. And you know what else that told me too? Is that you're just as emotionally unstable as she is. Clark it.
You're just better at hiding it.
Literally. Literally.
Chris is Brian. Huda is Amaya. If you put them all and you hide their names and you put all their character traits, you would all struggle to figure out who is who.
Literally.
You would all struggle to figure out who is who.
Literally.
I'm happy with this, Jessica, because I'm so happy.
Too.
Can I just give you your flowers? It's very rare that I hit up somebody because when I talk to the girls, they be crying. I feel like I just reading facts. I was like, who can I have a rigorous conversation with? Who's not gonna cry and shut down when it's time to just tell the truth?
Not me.
So I just want to
I
applaud
mean,
you for creating that
I'm a
kind of
crier
space.
though. I am a crybaby, but I mean, when it's time to have a
Yeah,
conversation, like I'm gonna have a conversation now. I just feel like we need more of these conversations, and I wish I would see more like maybe like Black platforms or platforms of color, you know, use their platforms to talk about all the stuff that we talked about today, but also just like talk about the show from a real standpoint.
Yeah.
Love Island this season, listen, it was entertaining, but it was a glaring look into not only dating dynamics, but racial dynamics, gender dynamics. There's so many instances that I feel like if it
Self-loathing.
were,
The amount of self-loathing that we saw displayed.
my God, like there were just so many moments. I just feel like if this person were a man, if this person were a Black person, or you know, this would just not fly. And I feel like it was just it's been scary to see the response from people just as they're watching this show, and they are really okaying a lot of bad behavior. Like
They relate to it. That's why they're okaying it, because they're living it, Jessica. It's a reflection. Love Island is a scary funhouse reflection of the state that we're in, and it's not good. And it's also psychologically abusive. This season was entertaining and psychologically abusive.
yeah.
We were all psychologically abused, and regardless of what team you were on, whether you were a hoodlum, hood rat, or Team Nicolandria, we all were subjected to a form of psychological abuse watching this show.
Whether
It
you were a
caused lot of
papaya,
damage.
yeah, we all experienced it. And I'm sorry, like even just one last thing I want to talk about too, because again, I'm like, damn, in this climate that we're in,
Yeah.
the fact that I don't see more people like irate about that bedroom scene where Huda told that man, I'm gonna count to 3, and if you don't let me do what I want to do with you in this bed, you know what I mean, like that, I'm gonna give you hell tomorrow.
There's no
Like the
education. They
fact
don't
that
know it's bad, Jessica. They would have to know it's bad to clock it. There's a show called I May Destroy You, and I watched it years ago with Michaela. And in one
yes, I
part, she
loved
talks
it.
about how the guy that she was dating took off his condom. And the girl
Yep.
says to her, "You were sexually assaulted."
And she's like, what?
Do you know the amount of people who, up until that show, had no idea that taking off a condom without consent was considered assault? It's a lack of education. We're living in an age of anti-intellectualism. You know why? If you're not an intellectual, if you're not taught critical analysis, you're easier to control. This world is creating sheep on purpose. Cursive
Yeah.
not being taught in schools is, you know why? Because all the documents from the beginning of this country are written in cursive. The Declaration of Independence, the Constitution, every old document that this world was founded in is written in cursive. So what happens when you stop teaching cursive in schools? You create people who can't read the documents, and therefore you can change them.
Yep.
Anti-intellectualism is supposed to make you into a sheep. What we're doing right now is incredibly dangerous to the system, because once somebody knows how to clock something, it's harder to control them. The amount of times when you and I did that video about emotional incest, the amount of people who hit me up like, until you said that, I thought I was crazy for being uncomfortable, and now that I know, I can't unsee it. That is what clarity brings from education.
Literally.
The answer to the Trump era is to educate yourself. That's the only answer.
That's the only answer. Well, sister, I mean, I think we did our thing, child.
We did our.
Someone
feel like this is late. We did work today, child.
Child, we did our thing. We want to make sure that we use our platforms to make sure that the truth is out there about the Shelleys of the world, the Olandrias of the world. Like, we want to make sure that Black women are protected and that Black women are not smeared all over the place. And then, of course, we wanted to just go over like everything that's been happening with post Love Island and all the things that people are saying. I mean, I feel like there's going to be so much more, and this reunion is going to be in August 25. So I think August 25th. So I can't wait to see what comes of it. But, you know, until then, child. Blue, can you please tell the people your YouTube, your Instagram? I'll make sure that I put all that in the description box once it's uploaded. But can you make sure that everybody knows
Whew, child. This
Yes.
conversation was so good. First thing, Instagram and Twitter, it's at Bluecentric, BLUE-centric, CNTRC. On TikTok, though, it's at Blue Toulousema, because I didn't think my TikTok was going to take off, so I didn't put no effort into it. My bad. It's doing well now, though. So it's at Blue Toulousema. And because I am an emotional intelligence coach, I have to point out I do an 8-week online emotional intelligence workshop. It's in a group setting on Zoom, so you can be wherever you are. It's live like this. And we literally teach you all these terms you heard me using with Jessie. We literally teach you what they mean, how to apply them, and also how to create like emotional safety wherever you go. I have a 75% return rate. Most of my students are people who have family who've already taken the class and somebody like got it for them. And the reason why I teach this stuff is because I want people to be able to clock things for themselves. If you're in a relationship with a friend who's being mean to you, I want you to be like, oh, wow, that's destiny swapping. She's trying to eat my light. You're not my real friend. If you're dating a nice guy like Chris that makes you feel unsafe, oh, wow, you're dismissive avoidant. You're not cool. If you're dealing with a HUDA, oh, you have main character syndrome. This doesn't work. By knowing the language and having the context and having the tools, you're then empowered to be safe even when the world is determined to make you unsafe. So if you want to take the class, the URL is fall25.eventbrite.com, fall25, because that's when the class is. It's the last one of the year. So if you don't sign up for this one, I'll see y'all in 2026, child, because it's a lot of work.
Period. And on that, I mean, y'all know where to follow me, child. The Jessie Woo on every platform. Love y'all. Let me go ahead and play my little outro, child. Hold on.
So good, friend. I'm so happy we did this.
No, me too. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And like again, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day. I know that you're busy. So thank you so much for taking the time out of your day. And those of you guys who are watching, thank you so much. I'm gonna go ahead and save it. So make sure that you like the live, you leave a comment, make sure that you support Blue. I always want y'all to support my friends that I bring on the platform, please. So support her. And you know, we'll see y'all next time, child. I guess maybe we'll have a breakdown of the reunion, child.
Child, the reunion. You need to come to LA, by the way. I'm just saying, Jessie, come back to LA.
I need to come. Well, actually, I'm supposed to come to LA in August. So I'll keep you posted on that.
Let me know your dates.
Yeah, I need to come to LA like for a week, you know. So but even that, if I want to go to LA, everybody's always so damn busy. Everybody's doing stuff, so it's like, dang. So I'm gonna try to give you an advance notice. So
yeah, because you know I be on the planes. Me and Delta got a love thing. So tell me the week so I can tell you now if it's the time that I gonna be there.
Okay, I will. But until then, y'all take care of yourselves. And
VBS, I just turn the water on. Big old flex.